Yeah, I've got a book coming out in March here where it's like the men, GROOM, the women outside of the church cults to be like mistresses. And it makes sense when you think about it psychologically, because you have to be in marital commitment with the church. So when you're the actual wife, you will feel like your husband is in a marital, like an emotional affair with the church cult, because he's in marital commitment. So how do you think, nonetheless, a woman that's outside of the church cult? So if you're here and you're listening to me and your man has started to go to Caris, First Love, any of the church cults that I talk about, just forget it. Just leave it. In 2025, this is your sign, babe. You know what I'm saying? You don't need no prophet or no tarot reader to tell you, yeah. I'm gonna tell you that for free, baby. I'm gonna tell you that for free. So today, do you know what, guys? I'm just gonna start off by talking about the process, like what happens when a church cult recruit you. I think that's what I'm gonna talk about, and then I'm gonna go into women's sexuality, church control, and the Madonna whore complex. Yeah, so what I'm going to talk about is what actually happened to us, yeah, helping us to make sense of the cult, the church cult environment, the high control environment. So one of the most important things survivors need to understand is this: cults don't control people by belief, they control people by psychology and nervous systems, guys. And I'll get into this later down. But when we come out, because it's a lot of like hocus pocus, spooky stuff, you know, they use a lot of fair-based programming. The Lord saith, the Lord has seen, the Lord hath showeth thy prophet. You know, it's like you don't have no logic. Do you get what I'm saying? Like you believe that these people have like the power to do something to you in the spiritual realm, and they just don't. It's not even about the spiritual, guys. We can't even bloody see it. We can't even bloody see it. Come on, guys. Like it's just giving psych. Guys, when you think about it though, come on, it is giving psychosis, because when you come out, yeah, you're so paranoid. You feel like something's gonna happen to you, like something's gonna fall out the sky, just unalive you. It's mad, yeah. The paranoia, that I'm sorry, but that ain't normal. But it's psychology. And it's a very normal response to being in a high control group. Shema in the car. Yeah, so let's not like over spiritualize this, take this to the, you know, the universe and beyond. Let's just stay very grounded. Most people think cults work because someone is brainwashed. That's not actually accurate. What actually happens is coercive control, which operates through predictable psychological mechanisms. Share. Oh, hey, Shema. Oh, God. Never. No, child. Oh, God. Shema, if you're going to call, it's not even pastor. It's lady pastor. No. Lady, reverend. No. Mother. And I'm going to call myself Mother JL. Mother JL. Because where I come from, the code leader changes your name. And he puts Mother in the title when you're a bishop. I'm a bishop. I'm not a pastor, I'm a bishop. That's how they go on in there. It's so repulsive. And then they're like, why is my husband cheating on me? Hey, lover B. Then they're like, why is my husband cheating on me? Why do you think he's cheating on you, babe? Because it's like, it's a man. It's so masculine. All right, y'all. Let's get into it, yeah. How cults hook people. So how do they hook us, Chair? Cults target people during periods of vulnerability, transition, grief, identity searching, spiritual openness. This is not an exhaustive list, but what I will tell you is when somebody walks through those doors, they're coming with heavy trauma. Hey, Wakanda, they're coming in with trauma. It doesn't matter about the race. It doesn't matter about the class. It doesn't matter about the culture. It's trauma. That's why you can get an entrepreneur in there, a millionaire, someone on benefits, someone unemployed, a student, whatever. And the relationship dynamics are weird. Very weird. And a cause for concern, because why is there a 50-year-old man that's taken a liking to this 15-year-old boy that reminds him of himself, and now he's in the yard and he's giving him money and do you know what I mean? There's a lot of dynamics of inappropriate relationships in these settings, and that's how I think a lot of kids are getting essayed as well in there. Just even like the pred behavior, it is normalized in these settings. Because when you think about it, We don't know these people. You get me? And they're just like holding up the kids that are young, having the kids all over their lap. It's like, are you all right? Like, you've just walked into this setting. You don't even know these people. They don't even know if the people have got histories of being a PDF. It's so crazy how, like, when it comes to like nurseries or schools, we want to see this, we want to see that, we want to look at Ofsted. But when it comes to these so-called churches, we don't want to be asking for DBS, for asking for this, asking for that. Thank you for the gifts. Why? It's and it's getting worse by the day. It's getting worse by the day. And that's why, guys, if you remember, I said to you lot last year, I'm putting out a PSA. It's not safe in the church. I said it to y'all. I said there's been an infiltration of, and the reason why I'm going to speak in over spiritualized language is because there might be people on the FYP. There has been an infiltration of false prophets, wolves in sheep's clothing, and Jezebels. There has been a seductress spirit that has taken over the church, unfortunately. And where we're at the moment is, I'm not pushing people away from Christ. I am accepting of everybody as much as I love Yeshua, because Jesus is a Roman god, a deity that was created by the YT Romans. But anyway, I don't want to digress. What I will just say to is, I encourage people to have a personal relationship with God, to build up your discernment, your inner witness, Holy Spirit, whatever language you are, use. Have that personal relationship and seek God so that you will be able to decipher and tell between, there's so many cults. You'll be able to tell between the two, guys. That's why I said to take some time off. Because, guys, the truth is, if you know yourself, that's reconnecting with your neurosystem. That's going in the mirror and facing the truth so that people can't use your vulnerabilities and your weaknesses to their advantage. That's why I'm telling you to know yourself. So if you've got a mental health problem, get your backside to the GP and go and get some medication. Stop seeing a one-on-one false prophet that's going to ruin your life. Because let me tell you something, the one-on-one prophets are even worse. I had a friend, who, because she kept church cult hopping to all of these different weird church cults in, the back doors of South London, like the Anya Kapowers and that, the NGRMs. And she's going there and wasted her whole life. Her baby daddy got deported, wasted her whole life, like a decade, because she believed that this guy was sent to her from God. And she was going to all the prophets to validate her foolishness and her madness. And it got to the point where I had to separate myself from her, because I said, babe, you're mentally unwell. Your head is in the clouds, and it's like you're covering it with hyper religiosity and spirituality. And that's what a lot of aunties have done, and uncles, for many, many years. So we're calling it out for what it is, just like we're calling the washed up single married 304s. It's like, baby, do you know what I mean? Like, you can go without having schmecks because you were either frigid and a V before, or you're just a washed up 304. So you've had enough bananas in your day. So now that the back's not getting blown out, it's cool. Know thyself. Yes. Oh my God. Feral essence. That's absolutely right. I say that all the time, my love. You have to know yourself, babe. Because it's little things like your gut, like, when you get that feeling, the body keeps the score, and the body speaks to us. Do you understand what I'm saying? I keep reading the Bible and hearing voices now. I'm not allowed to worship anything. Oh my God. Ellie, I'm so sorry, girl. Ellie, do you know what, right? A bit of advice I'll give to you, but of course, just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. The dark night of the soul. Absolutely. Can you not hear me? Has it frozen? The kingdom of heaven is within. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, feral essence. Absolutely. They cherry pick what they want, and they've lied to us because they don't want us to have a personal relationship with God. Oh, okay, you can hear me. All right, thank you. Babe, what I would say, Ellie, is connect with nature. I know it's cold at the moment, but even like seeing a beautiful starlit sky, just appreciating the moon. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, just being like having a coffee, outside the coffee shop for like 5 minutes and just feeling the wind on your face, having your feet grounded on the floor. Things like I love to light candles, incense. Beautify your home. You'll be surprised how, I got this LED light, and it's just little small things, but it really has changed the dynamic of the room. You can hear what I'm playing, a frequency. Really peaceful, Ellie. You may not, because they abused you with the scriptures, so you're not going to be able to go just into the scriptures. So go more mind, body and soul. Yeah, Girl, focus on mind, body and soul. So get to your GP. Do you need to go on meds? Do you know what I'm saying? Queen Elite are in the cut, because I had to go on meds. I'm on venlafaxine. You might, if you don't want to go on meds, it's fine, but just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But this is where we need to get more on the logical, because if they've ABUSED'd you from the Bible, that's good. That is the post-traumatic disorder. Part of it is the scriptures, unfortunately. And that's the part that makes you feel like you're going off, because the Bible is your safety blanket. It's your safety net. Thank you, elites. It's what you cling to. It's supposed to be your refuge. And they've made a shipwreck of our faith. And that's why when I started coming out here, because I'm sorry, I was in there for 18 years. I'm not throwing it away. Do you think I'm throwing away all them scriptures and power? I don't deny the Bible, babe, but it's just been tampered with, baby girl. I'm not throwing that away. I mean, you blood clot silly. That na make it. I know my word. I know my blood clot word. That's why when washed up church 304s want to be coming and having chat for me. Baby girl, you're divorced twice. I've been married to one man for almost a decade, if we want to start getting the Bible in context, baby girl. And I have not remarried. It says in the scriptures that if you remarry in the eyes of God, you're going to be seen as an adulterer. And God doesn't accept no marriage after that. This is the Bible, baby. This is the Bible. Because Pentecostalism and all of them faith, health, wealth and prosperity gospels, they've been trying to change the word. That's not the word of God. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's a fluffy word of God that they pick and choose. That's why the girls are 304s in there. That's why I call them 304s. Because you don't want to come and be talking to me and you're tight, modest clothes. No, baby girl, because this is me. This is what I was doing up when I was doing up modest. This is what I was doing up. I was looking like I just stepped off Salt Lake City Valley, baby. Like I came from Utah. All right, baby girl. So unless you're outside in these streets with no makeup, natural hair, with a blood clot headband, because that is the core piece, and you're in a floral dress where we can't, it has to look like a tent. Yeah? It has to look like a tent. Because modesty, we shouldn't be able to see no waist. We shouldn't be able to see nada. Because modesty is about, according to how they do it up in these places and spaces, this is the epitome of modesty. So no one who's been saved for 5 minutes, because the Breeny Lees and that, they ain't been saved. Because for 10 of the 15 years they were saved, they were getting their backs blown out. Yeah? And going on friggin' podcasts to chat about man. So no one's going to come and tell me after I did 18 years and I was in a 10-year marriage with a covert narcissist, it's going to come and try and have some chat for me. I don't think so. I do not think so. Oh, babe, it's all corrupt, girl. I'm going to keep it real with you. The canon is not, because it's corrupt, you have to deconstruct. And you have to deconstruct and find out the factual information so that you can understand what was put together. You have to contextualize it. What was put together because of the political agenda, because of religion, CJ and Nakat, because of leaders that wanted power, whatever. You have to look at the entirety of it. How was Catholicism even formed? Yeah? So there's a lot. And to be honest, I'm not here to think, because you have to take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Because if you want to be a Catholic, you could be a Catholic. I'm just saying Pentecostalism is you know, I think, yeah, it's all corrupt. But I'm just saying the one, because Catholicism, they all are, but Catholicism's got a lot of eyes on them. You know, they're safeguarding stuff. The government's involved. But the government is not responsible for any church outside of the Church of England and the Roman Catholic Church. They don't see Pentecostalism, any church outside of the Roman Catholic and the Church of England, they do not class as the church, if you didn't know. That's why you can't go in there and get married in a Catholic church or a Church of England church by their priest. You can rent out the hall and get married in there, but you have to have been confirmed and gone through their marriage counselling. It's a completely different church chair. That's why some people leave the mega church world and convert to Roman Catholic. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like they convert to the Roman Catholic church chair and act like and then they're proud. It's the one true church. That's the original. That's the original, baby. Their spell work and their magic is so powerful. It has to be locked up in the dungeons of the Vatican in Rome. Are you all right? Have you seen it, baby? Like, do you get it? Like, what? Thanks, elites. Because it was just giving human fecal matter. CJ in the cup. Yeah, it was just giving human fecal matter. It was reeking. I could I was picking up the scent from inside the screen. All right. So how they hook people, how they recruit people, how they target them. If you've got a visible vulnerability on you, so if you look like what you've been through, B, or what you're going through currently. Remember I said to you, the young people, that there was 2 survivors that were always getting targeted. And she said to me, Leah, they would always target us when we were on the way back from Mandem's AP, or we're on the way fresh back from a rave, this, that, and the first. She was like, you could smell the rum and tobacco on our breath. And she said that she would class herself as vulnerable, but her other friend had been through a lot, like been through care, had been GANG, eaten out of the great box, like a lot, like just a lot of trauma. So you could see on her that you could see she's a vulnerable young woman. So when they come up to them and they're like, oh, the Lord has shown me, I can see you've been through a hard life. She said, anyone can see it. Anyone can see it, because you can smell the rum and the tobacco on our breath. So what are you doing up there? You're targeting them because they're vulnerable. Thank you, Becca. You're targeting them because they're vulnerable. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. That's why I roll with my crystals. Yes, think it's EVIL. If it's going to keep you away from me, yeah! Whatever it's going to do to keep y'all away from me, baby. Whatever it's going to do. Because if people were walking around, yeah, I don't even want, but the different religions and the different, forcing it like how they do, pushing it into their face and whatever. No, we wouldn't be, it wouldn't run. It wouldn't run. And that's why they've had this power historically, because the state and the church only got separated not too long ago, chair. So now that people are saying to them no, and the police are saying, sorry, you can't be out here doing up phobic slurs and tones. Sorry, you can't be out here and using that derogatory tone, whether it's in that book or not. Because the laws have progressed A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And they can't handle it. You know we are vulnerable. They pick and choose, Leah. Yes! Absolutely, babe. That's why they preyed on us when they saw us. We were all vulnerable. That's what it is on period, point blank. And they offer certainty, belonging, and meaning before they ever introduce control. So remember, they don't just control you. They do the love bombing. That's what controlling man them do. The man doesn't just start calling you a 304 and stop calling you and stop buying you things and start breaking you down. And he because you wouldn't get with him. You're no idiot. You wouldn't have got with the man them in the first place. It's no different from the church. Are you hearing me? And when I tell you, listen, yeah, I'm going to start talking about how these religious man them move and roll inside the church and outside of the church. Because now I've had too much gyal hitting me up. It's like these secret gyal them that hide, that they hide in the darkness. I'm gonna be talking about it. We're gonna get into it today. We're gonna get into it. And I'm just sitting here deciding, am I gonna ruin some marriages this Christmas? I'm not sure. I'm pondering upon it, and I'm like, because my kids are gonna be with their dad a lot on the Christmas, I know I'm gonna get triggered, because I always get triggered because my dad weren't there, and then my kids are here, and then I might just decide, oh, do you know what? I just want to ruin someone's marriage today. So guys, stay tuned. Because depending on how I'm feeling on Christmas, I get so emotionally unstable. I've got EUPD, yeah. So I might just have to tell some wives on Christmas, just post some pictures of their husband with their mistresses. I don't know. I'm going to see how it goes, guys. I did want to wait for 2026 because, like when you're just sitting on the receipts, but I'm like, yeah. Should I do it for Christmas? We'll see. So this is called the intense love bombing. Yeah, some home Christmas truths, share. Affirmation, attention, and validation that creates rapid attachment. And do you know what the craziest thing is? So many of them have side pieces that they're just all sitting there shaking in their boots. They don't know who's coming next because they're all so corrupt. Oh, I've got to plug this in. All right, so your brain releases dopamine and oxytocin. This isn't spiritual, it's biological bonding. So what we need to stop doing is over spiritualizing things and always looking for a sign or a hidden meaning in stuff, guys. What we need to do is like ground ourselves first. And then once we're grounded, then we can look for hidden meanings. Because if you haven't even sorted out your mental health and come to terms with that you now have a chronic health issue because of the cult or this or that, the last thing that you need to be doing is having your head in the clouds. Do you get it? Because you can just repeat the same cycle with a different thing. Is this making sense? Thanks for the encouragement, CJ, and everybody, and for liking the live. I appreciate it. So trauma bonding and intermittent reinforcement. Thank you, Brummy. Once attachment is established, approval becomes inconsistent. It's your sense of identity they attack. And do you know what's crazy, girl? There's a whole section here on identity enmeshment. So you're just even stepping ahead, because that's exactly where we're going. It's all intertwined. It's exactly where we're going, Jaya. So you're praised when compliant, withheld from when you question. And then also they make examples of other people and they use it in preaching. Like, I'll never forget this one that Bishop Richard would always do. He said that he would tell this guy not to marry this girl, and it was because the girl had HIV, yeah? And the guy went ahead against his orders, and then he got it, he contracted it, and he ended up unaliving the woman. So it's like, you know, he'll tell these stories out of fear because they don't want you to like keep things back. Oh, look, Becca said you're bang on. Thank you, babe. I really do. Guys, I really appreciate the support, man, because there's so much going on. But, you know, I don't want to expose survivors to certain things because we've been through so much that I just handle the stuff going on behind the scenes. And I just pray that, you know, God will just deal with all of the people, man. All right. So this creates intermittent reinforcement, the same mechanism that keeps people addicted to gambling. Guys, this is serious. Or abusive relationships. Or drugs. The nervous system becomes trained to seek approval to relieve anxiety. And it's that relief of anxiety, guys. And that like that need for the oxytocin, the dopamine hit. Whether you do it, yes, so the lust, the greed, the envy, and it's rife in there. And look at that scripture, jealousy, who can withstand her? Guys, the gyal them in there, oh my God. If you're pretty, forget it. If you're pretty or curvy, forget it. Just because you see the mocks, oh my God, the way. Guys, I remember there was this whole season, yeah, I'm sure there was a woman that Bishop Richard was unhappy with that had a curvy figure. Yes, dependency. Yes, they want you to be outside, external instead of within. That's it, so that they can break you down. And Richard would be like, yes, you men, what are you waiting for? You want a woman with a Coca-Cola bottle shape. Coca-Cola. So now it's like, if a guy chooses a pretty girl that's shapely, he's going to be seen as, it's like he's worldly, or he's, do you know what I mean? So he'll go with the unfortunate looking woman. And a lot of the men that go for women that just are not, a lot of them are closeted. A lot of the mogs and that, they're closeted in these spaces, I swear down. So this is trauma bonding. Fear replaces consent. Over time, fear is introduced. Fear of God, fear of punishment, fear of losing community, fear of being deceived, fear of spiritual unalivement. You're either made in his image or the image of man. Pick your side. Wow. And again, guys, you take what resonates and leave what doesn't, because you see, the made in his image, that's very important, because that's why I said to you, like, I have to say, like, don't come on the live, because you lot don't have no spiritual coverings. Do you know what I mean? Because even your spiritually, your pastors are on the run. They're illegally, do you know what I mean? You ain't got nothing going on there, Jet. But it's like, you don't understand it because these things are higher. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, when they've dabbled in it, like they've been dabbling and they've been doing things that they shouldn't be doing behind the scenes, like there's going to be a judgment day, innit? They're in debt for their wickedness and trying to drag us into it. Yeah, Jesus beefed the Pharisees. It's true. And to be honest, if they are looking for an example, there it is. Because that's why they wanted to even unalive him. The things that he was saying, like Yeshua's mouth was slick. It was slick. But that's the deception. You don't see that it's Pharisaic. And that's the whole point. They wanted to maintain their traditions and their religious rituals and whatever. And they just repackaged it. And it's sad, really. It's sad because it's taken us, you know, thousands of years to like wake up and clock it. So at this point, people are no longer choosing freely. They're acting to regulate fear, not to follow truth. So it's about the nervous system, the body is trying to regulate this fear and not to follow truth. So there's that cognitive dissonance. You have to go against what you truly feel. And, you know, you can fake it and say, yes, 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 yes. But your body will be saying, no, 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 I'm tired. I can't do it anymore. I can't. But they train you to be like, yes, yes, yes. When the body and the mind and everything is just telling you need to stop. And that's why people get unwell, especially later in life. A lot of especially the women, they have problems like conceiving. A lot of women lose, you know what's in there as well. Because the stress that you're under. And pregnancy, you just need to be putting your feet up. And remember, they're going to work because the men in there, they can't afford to provide for the wives without their wives' paychecks. So the wives are going to work doing full-time jobs whilst pregnant with the other kids. And then they're doing up church leadership as well. And that's why they're not able to go full-term. All right, it's just too much for the body. And then CJ, this is on to the part that I was talking about that you mentioned, identity erosion. So yeah, and CJ, do you know what else it is as well? It's masking. The pretending to be righteous is masking, and that's what I think makes us, like, you know, like the neurodivergent people more unwell. You know, like if you've got autism or ADHD or whatever, because there's a lot of masking and it becomes really tiring. So a lot of the time it will be like, you know, neurodivergent people that will backslide, or, you know what I mean? But again, if you're in there and you're undiagnosed and you're focusing on the prayers instead of getting a diagnosis for your neurodivergence, then, I mean, people are just going to keep seeing that there's something not quite right there, but in their mind, because remember, neurotypical people think like that. And they're going to use it for their advantage because they're not like forthcoming. They don't we take what they say as literal, and they could be lying. Like, that's exactly what they do in love bombing, and just knowing that maybe, you know, we might not make friends as easily or whatever, and they prey on that. We can't do the masking, bro. I know. That's the thing. It just ruins our organs. It's just too much. It's so much pressure on the internal organs. Crazy. So high control groups slowly replace your internal authority with external authority. This is what you were talking about, CJ. You're taught to distrust your intuition, your doubts, your boundaries, your emotions, and your discernment. That's the main thing. This is why leaving feels like you're losing your identity. Your sense of self was outsourced. So it's like, if you imagine they got soft life. Remember when she gave us a good analogy, like, it's like we've given them the remote control to our lives. And that's because we don't want to take control of our own lives. But loads of people are leaving. They're waking up and seeing the truth. Even Dag was talking about me the other day on the floor. And I was just like, oh my God, get a life, babe. You know what I mean? Like, pipe down. Pipe all the way down. Guys, I got to do my nails today, because for those of you that don't know, I'm disabled because of the church cult under Dag Mills. I was in there for 18 years and it was just too much on my neurosystem, and just my organs, they're just unaliving. So my adrenal gland was overworking. It produces cortisol to help with the stress, but because I was under constant stress, fight or flight mode, my adrenal gland unalived, and I had a tumor, a benign tumor. They had to do a test. It came back non-cancerous. That's how much, because stress just, it mutates, doesn't it, into like sickness, disease, cancers, etc. Serious. That's their game. They profit off it. Still look the age you were when you went in. Oh, thanks. You're an empress. Thanks. You're an empress too. Thanks. You're an empress too. Elite. Like, I was speaking to like an OG, like, I've been going through stuff, but they're thinking clearer now. They're ready to they're standing 10 toes down with me. They want me to know that, like, 2026 we're meeting up, anything I could do to help. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, you get me? Like, the survivors, oh, thank you for the melanin. The survivors are coming out strong, ready for 2026, share. And it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling because it doesn't feel like I'm alone. Yeah, it was so sweet. And then she was like, your book's coming out. And that was also so nice. Like, the support's there, man. And that's what I said, I can't complain. Like, the support is there. Even today, I said to myself, Minakir. I said to my mum, Minakir. I said, the collective love me, chair. I'm not interested in men or Like, I love the collective love me. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're not going to here. All right. So let's look at why leaving the church hurts so much, yeah? So leaving a cult is not just ideological, guys. It's neurological and relational. And that's what else the survivor was saying. Yeah, it was so sweet, Elites, man. It was, I really needed to like hear something like that today. Yeah, she was saying, guys, let me just put on some lipstick. You know, I've been so ill, I'm trying. Oh, hey, is that my Biggs from Peckham? Is that my Biggs? So, oh, what was I gonna say? Yeah, we will get into like, yeah, the women's sexuality and the Madonna whore complex, this, that, and the third. Okay. All right, let's get into it now. So it hurts so much because leaving a cult is not just ideological, it's neurological and relational. And that's what the survivor was saying. It like the psychological stuff is worse than, you know, like people actually putting hands on you. And I agreed, because you can't see the wound. Do you know what I mean? To like treat it. So why does this happen? Because you lose community, certainty, structure, meaning, and belonging. How do you identify if the church is a cult? Oh God. All right. Well, just the characteristics of a cult. So the first one is, I'll give you a few. A charismatic cult leader. So so there's that culture of worshiping this guy. If the rhetoric in there is, oh my gosh, my life has changed so much because of Prophet David Antry. Oh my God, his preacher did it. Oh, you'll never be able to find another church. If there's more of a focus on the leader and the church environment than Jesus Christ himself, that is a big red flag. Then also, if this space requires inordinate amounts of your time, yes, if you have to be in there 24 hours a day to be part of the group, if there's isolation involved, so, you know, there's a lot of like, you know, scriptures about, you got to HAT your mother and father, pick up your cross and follow Christ and unalive for Christ. And it's about sacrificing, unaliving, win the lost at any cost. Very RADICAL rhetoric. And they're isolating you. Then we bring in the us versus them. So they demonize the outside world. The outside world is EVIL. Everyone in the church is good versus everyone outside in the world is bad. Black and white thinking, dogmatic thinking, cult. Yeah. When we look at Stephen Hassan's bite model, which shows how these cult leaders assert authoritarian control through negative and positive leadership across a continuum. Yeah, we look at the healthy and the unhealthy leadership, and the unhealthy leadership looks like control, cloning, narcissism, dictatorship. Yeah, fake relationships, trauma bonding. Healthy leadership looks like autonomy, freedom, like mentorship to invest in someone to live their life in their fullness and freeness, autonomy, agency. That is what a healthy church cult looks like. I mean, a healthy church would look like. Because it's just, remember, it's all a building. They all look the same. How do you tell if a counterfeit note is counterfeit? How do you know if it's real or fake? You have to put it through that machine to see if it's real. So that's why I say it really is about going within. Because I can give you the characteristics all you want. But if you're in a vulnerable situation and you've had a family member that's just unalived, and this church is showing you all the love. Like, guys, I'm not going to lie, there are people who are broke. They don't even know how they're going to put food on the table. They're isolated. They've got no one. And that's like, if you've got a lot of issues, whether you've been, you know, through, you know, oh, Becca, you'll get me emotional. You're such a queen. If you've been through things like, so for example, you might be overbearing or needy or emotionally manipulate, not because you're EVIL, not because you're a narcissist, but because of your trauma. And unless you sit down and say, this is who I am and this is what I do and I need to get help because I'm going around these unhealthy, toxic patterns and cycles. Listen, babes, it might look like you're moving backwards because everybody else might be like putting their head underwater in their work, in their uni, with their husband, and it looks like they're doing really well, but in 10 years it all comes falling down. Yeah, shadow work's important. That's why everyone's divorced, my age, all the millennials. They're all getting divorced now. Haven't you noticed? All the women that are like 30, 34 plus, we're all getting divorced, babe. Do you know what I mean? It's only the pick-me's hanging on because they don't LOVE themselves, but all the baddies are getting divorced. We're walking out, chair. You all right? Do you know what I mean? So don't watch no face, babe. That's why I said you got to stay in your own blood clot lane. Because there were people that used to look at me and feel jealous, but it was all a lie. Just like the church cult, it's all a lie. You got to stay in your own lane and focus on your own stuff, because it's you're better off working on your mental health, working on regulating your nervous system, so that your mind, body, and soul, so that you're in a good mental space, you're emotionally intelligent to be able to make that money, meet someone good. You're not going to attract someone who's going to come and siphon your energy and be a psychopath or a narcissist. I know when you're young, you want a man, my man, my man, my man. But guys, like, you can take it or leave it. Everybody's got to go on their own path. And there are some good men out there. But ladies, I'm just going to say, get your ish together first, chair. Like, sort yourself out. Because if that man turns out to be a liar, this, that, and the third, at least mentally, you'll be all right and you'll have your own little piece of shmoney. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because it's the gal them on TikTok that you see crying because they put their whole hope and trust in a man. And it's no different from a cult leader. It's no different from a cult leader. You got to have at least a little something for yourself. Because I talk about dating rich men and this and that, but that's because I can't go for broke. It doesn't arouse me in the bedroom. So historically, I can't go for, it doesn't do it for me. It's not because, and these are the men that chat to me. It's not because but I've always worked for everything that I got. But it doesn't mean just because I'm on a 70k job and I'm a program manager, do you know what I mean, working in the mayor's office, I still expect you to be paying for my life. It doesn't, that money's for myself. I'm working because I want to work. You've got to pay my bills, baby. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. I'm not blow clock here. That money's for myself. That's my pocket money. You pay for my life. If you like me, you see what you like what you see. You got to, do you know what I mean? Because there's bare man in lining up. I don't care, and that's how I speak to the man them. That's how I used to speak to the man them. Obviously now I'm celibate, but yeah, you know, when I was outside in these streets. But I might do a little, like, you never know what's gonna come in 2026. Because I might just go on the street and just do like damsel in distress, like show you lot how I get this money. Because sometimes I do miss it. So I'm thinking about making a little, like, you know, like doing little skits. We'll see. Is that what you're thinking about doing? Yeah, like being a damsel in distress and stuff. That's what I'm thinking. Nah, I'm not still outside, baby. I've always been a kept woman. I've got a ninja in South London. That's a reformed gangster. I could just call him anytime. He'll give me money. What do you mean, am I? I don't need to be outside, bitch. Are you alright? Have you seen me? Baby boy, do you know who you're talking to? What do you mean, am I still outside? Do I look like I need to be outside? Are you alright? I'll be outside if I want to, but I don't need to be outside. I'm a kept woman. Oh my God, they're getting excited tonight, innit? You're lucky that you're lucky you could even comment on here, Jaya. Do you know who I am? With my disabled self, I'm still looking better than gal them that ain't got no chronic issues. Please, we ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that. Do you know what I mean? Is he all right? Okay. So, again, when we're thinking about leaving the cult, it's like our whole life, because we've created our whole identity, our whole everything around the cult, yeah? So your nervous system goes into withdrawal. Symptoms can include anxiety, confusion, hyper-spirituality, or total collapse. So some people do go into full, like, schizophrenia, psychosis, or they can experience, like, complete shutdown. Yeah, full shutdown of the nervous system and the body. Obsessive meaning. So people can eat obsessively as well, or just like, but that could be buying in excess. That could be alcohol. That could be schmegs. There's a lot of schmegs addicts in the church cult as well, and a lot of preds. Grief, loneliness. So this is not insanity. It is a predictable trauma response, and that's why I think historically survivors have been going MAD. But now there's a collective and there's established group and there's content out there. People can be like, oh, okay, this is what I'm going through, and I'm not the only one type of vibe. Do you know all my batteries are low? Guys, I've been sitting here all day. Actually, I haven't been sitting here all day, but I've been sitting here for a hot minute. All right. So why survivors often seek signs and certainty after. So what I've noticed is like survivors will still talk in like a hyper religious sense, or they'll bring up like look for signs or spirituality. Yeah, heavy on the preds. Because they've got access to young gal, young vulnerable gal, and little boys. Because remember, word on the street is allegedly Pastor Henry and SPAC. We've all been hearing what Bouncer's been doing up. So the reason why survivors look for signs, certainty, answers, whatever after control is because the brain desperately wants orientation, understanding, meaning, a sense, like a moral compass, like a compass to know where we're going. Yeah. Survivors may look for signs, symbols, spiritual explanations, or absolute answers, and that can involve you know, like in the form, and I'm not saying this because you said it, Bex, but like in the form of even mentors. Do you understand what I'm saying? Or personal prophets. Also, that's why you've got to be careful who you even select and see as a mentor, because I've had listen, I've got a lot of people whose lives have been ruined because of a personal prophet. And the kids, there's been kids that have been ABUSED'd because these so-called personal prophets have ordered the mother to like fing off the child's head at like 2 a.m. in the morning. Do you know what I mean, guys? It's like the control. It's like the one-on-one prophet, and it doesn't matter whether it's the same gender. It's very controlling. It's like a one-on-one cult dynamic, like a DV relationship. And I haven't started speaking about that yet. The closest that we've seen to it was the what were they called? Kingdom, the koala, kula. What were they called? You know, the people in the Scottish forest. They manipulated his message. Oh yeah, most definitely, babes. Most definitely. Because, babe, you got to think about it. If Christ was to come back today, they would call him a wizard and a witch and, like, you know, into New Age. And if he came back teaching Kabbalah Kingdom, thanks, baby. If Christ came back with exactly the same message, dressed as he was, everything same, because Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore, it would be these institutions that would be putting him to, yeah. And I've had a little drop in the ocean of what it's like to, you know, like be on that Christ-like frequency where the people that you're fighting for are the people that hate you and that are fighting you. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I'm really trying to be here with pure intention and like be trying to like tell people about my experiences and whatever. And it's like I'm getting like hate from the people that I was one. It's mad. It's crazy. It's crazy. So they believe that they're on the right side, but they ain't. And the thing is, I'm not telling people leave. And even if I was telling people to leave church and go clubbing and go whatever, just do what you want. But I'm actually trying to say, if you want to still keep this relationship with Christ, just work on it personally. I'm not taking no one away from Christ. I'm saying seek Christ for yourself and deconstruct properly, because believing in the canon, like that is the infallible truth. I've just got to keep it real with you guys, yeah? In 2026 is like believing Santa Claus still exists. This is what I'm saying to you, because like my 11-year-old daughter, they're looking at it from, you know, like different scopes. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because of how advanced technology has become and how much information we've got. So again, I'm not trying to disrespect anyone's beliefs or whatever, because I don't think that takes away the infallibility of Christ. And I don't think it takes away the infallibility of who God is. It's just that you've got to decode it. And like Christ said, you've got to seek, you've got to knock, and he will answer. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just that you've got to decode it. That's what I believe. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But I can't say a lie. I can't say a lie, because I've seen the factual evidence. I've researched it for myself, and I had to research it for myself because I felt like I was going off. So I had to understand why I could see misogyny and oppression and why there's no books written by women. And I had to find answers. I had to understand why misogyny and patriarchy was mirrored through the canon in that space. I had to understand why. And I deconstructed and I understood why. Yeah? It's not coincidence. It's two particular countries that run the black churches in the UK. It's always the two that you've said there, yeah? And you know what, babe? I'm really, really glad that people are waking up. I'm really, really glad that people are waking up to actually see what's going on here. And this is why I said it's not a BLK church problem. But what it is in the like 80s and the 90s, we got like a migration of a lot of pastors and mogs from that diaspora, that part of the world, when, you know, it wasn't as hard to get like visas, and there's been a lot of arranged marriages. It's been like a whole operation thing. So that's why, for me personally, I feel like even if the laws are changed, they're still going to be doing the same thing. What I feel like we have to like stop. We have to stop the advantages, how advantageous it appears, to come to this country and start a religious organization. Do you know what I mean? Because if it wasn't so lucrative, I don't think as many people would be doing it up. Yeah, and that's why they operate through fear. That's why they operate through fear, guys. So because you're trying to find like this spiritual explanation, these absolute answers, it's the nervous system trying to feel safe again. Healing means slowly learning to tolerate uncertainty without collapsing or attaching to another authority. So it's learning to trust yourself, guys, and that is hard. And learning to feel safe again and not trusting a man's voice. So real recovery is not about becoming anti-spiritual or hyper-logical, because remember, there's got to be a balance in everything. It's about rebuilding internal authority. And I'm going to say as well, therapy, what CJ is saying here, because that's also very important. Because in the early days, that was like my first point of call. Do you know what I mean? Later, I just came to find it just wasn't working for me. But that's because I have BPD and probably ADHD and autism. So there's a specific type of whatever I need. And so again, that's why I say take what resonates and leave what doesn't. I would never come on here and say, oh, don't do therapy, because I didn't find it useful. I mean, how dare I? I'll tell you the truth and I'll say, like, in the beginning I did, and there were steps that I took, etc. Similarly, I would never want to marry a man again. Do you know what I mean? I would never want to be a lay through marriage. The thought of a wedding dress gives me PTSD. I just wouldn't want to deal with that. But I would never sit here and be like, you know, if a girl wants to get married, or if she's married, I'm going to be like, ew, no, man. Because that's through my path. That could just be for my sole purpose. I can't have a man or whatever it is. So why would I take that away from, or why would I put down another person because they want that? Like, there was a survivor before she showed her ears, and I always used to say, I want you to get a nice man. I want you to have kids and experience it, because I've experienced that. Do you know what I'm saying? So if someone else hasn't experienced that, why am I going to take or make them feel some type of way because they want to experience that? That's selfishness. That don't make no sense. So although I've got a lot of these, which people would class me as maybe a feminist, which I'm not, because I can't be put in a box, or like quite radical in my thinking towards women's rights and whatnot and whatever. But I still, you know, I love. And like, there's a survivor, and I can tell that guy's so into her, like he gives her the wild. That's what I like. I'm not gonna be happy for you if the guy's walking all over you like a doormat. But I'm going to be happy if you're sitting at home whilst he's working 3 jobs and paying for your life and treating you like a queen and a princess. And looking at you after 10 years like he's met you yesterday. Of course I'm got a good yeah. What my whole thesis is, if you're going to do it, ladies, do it right. It has to be advantageous for you. And if you do decide to marry for love later on, just remember that you married for love. So whatever happens, it's because you married for love. And that's it. Yeah, but some women are happy to marry for love and take the risk. And again, I'm not saying anything like I would, if I was going to marry again, it definitely wouldn't be for love. But then I wouldn't come in and be like, if a girl's married for love, oh, you're DUMB, you're this, you're that, when I've had relationships and married for love. And that's how them go on in the cult. That's what I don't like. Like, they be looking down on gal like they're 304s, but weren't you the biggest 304 in South London? And now that you've come in here and you've been in the church for 7 years, do you know what I mean? Now you're married. Like, what? Now you want to be breaking down other gal? It's just giving hypocrite, and that's why the vibration's so low in there. It's a really low vibration. Do you know what I mean? Like the gal them. Oh my gosh, it's just giving repulsive because there's no realness, and there's a lot of like insecurity and gel towards the young gal. Then there's a lot of gel. Hey, Christ first, they HATE on the young gal them. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine being in there? You're like a leader because they're married and the guys are washed up. They're not happy. And then the gal them coming in their nice little dresses, especially when it used to be time for like Christmas balls or, you know, something where they come in their own clothes. You just see the old women just looking at the girls like they smell, like looking at them up and down. Just like sad. So recovery is about rebuilding internal authority, regulating the nervous system, learning safe boundaries, and restoring trust in your own perception. So learning to trust yourself again. separating meaning from fair. And that's why if you make certain decisions and maybe it doesn't work out or it doesn't, just congratulate yourself for making the decision. Just congratulate yourself for doing it yourself. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because one thing that they did in my cult was they made us fear like making a wrong decision. Like it's like, oh, learn from the mistakes of others. That's why you have a pastor to lead and guide you. That's why you have a pastor, he's gone before you along the way. My pastor used to say, you can see down the road, but I can see down the road, over the building, behind the bridge, over the M2. It's like because they're spiritually advanced. They've come before us. It's just human fecal matter, man. They just make it up as they go along, man, honestly. And the power gets to their head, the ego, the money. Could you imagine doing a service and then after the service you come and see £120,000 in your account after a 2-hour service? You don't think that's going to get addictive for any human being? You don't think someone's going to get the thrill and the chase of like just seeing how much they can earn, just seeing how much they can raise? Come on, guys. They're only human beings. And you know, they've got to come to the realization that they are just human beings themselves, because they've been thinking that they're gods for so many years. And they're just not. They're just mere mortal men with a D that they think with instead of their minds. And that's why what I've done has been so successful, because the men don't know whether they want to bend me over and give me a good or the other thing. They're confused. And that's because of the power of a woman, which they will never, as much as they demonize it and they whatever, and you know, all these mandem are coming to watch my content in secret. These church mandem are probably in the bathroom jail with some of these videos that I have been making, jail. Hey, PhDK, yeah. Did you want to come on and say something, girl?
First of all, I agree with you. Oh my God. These guys, hi girl, they know the power of femininity. That's why they don't want you to wear makeup in these cult like churches, because they know that it's a currency. Beauty gets you opportunities. Beauty puts you in the right rooms, with the right marriages, right relationships. So they know that it gives women like a step up in society. You can jump social classes just by being beautiful and getting with the right guy. Honestly, it's true. It's true. Look at Ronaldo's girl. She was a waitress, and
You're
now
right. Pretty privilege.
literally, and it's like that because men designed it to be like that. The male gaze rewards beautiful women, so they get mad when women play them at their own game.
Oh yeah, I forgot you got a PhD. You're a smart one, innit? But you're like me. You're pretty and sexy, so they underestimate you, innit, babe?
Yeah, Madonna whore complex. They don't know where to place us.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, girl. I love it when it's like two intellect, two intellect
Yes,
buddies. Oh God, girl, we need to go for drinks.
literally.
We need to, like a little
Yeah, I'm back in
cocktail evening,
London.
innit? Somewhere nice.
Yes, you need like a book premiere or like book
Yeah,
launch.
I
I
am
wanted
gonna
to
do
ask you
that.
that.
March. I am gonna do that, girl. That's something that you could even help me, because you like all of that stuff. And Elita, look at her. She's like, yes, girl. Because
Yes,
I
I'd
do
love
want to do a
to.
little something, girl. I definitely do.
I was gonna ask, is the book gonna be digital or physical?
I'm gonna do digital ones first, and then I'm gonna do paperbacks like a month later. Because I ain't got the
Oh,
shmoney to do the paperback. So when I get sell the books, I'll do some paperbacks but I'm hoping that there'll be when I speak over it, audio as well. Because I got
mm.
survivors with differing needs.
Oh my gosh, you know what would be so cool, yeah? If you could had like audio or like video, because like you asked for poetry and I've got like the documentary, but it's like spoken word, because black people, like a lot of the times spoken word is like our culture. And like I'm Yoruba, so we do the oral traditions, and like the British way is kind of writing it and poems and Shakespeare and da 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 da. But
Wow.
like that voice is like our identity, our embodiment. and it's powerful, it's unique. Like we all have a unique, distinct voice, and it would be so cool to be able to capture that for the women who want to opt in, because I know some people aren't going to be comfortable with having their voice or like that, but women who are, and it's safe for them to do so. Yeah.
But I love that idea. Oh my, but girl, 2026, we're going to have the working groups and everything now, babe, because now we're in a different zone. Do you know what I mean? Like the collective, we're in a different vibe now. Because that's bloody brilliant. I love that. Girl, we need to talk,
Yes, we do. We'll do a business
Have you got
talk.
my number? Because I feel like because from the first thing we did, innit?
Yeah, I've got WhatsApp. I've got your WhatsApp.
Babe, please message me. Please message me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll have a business talk, but
yeah.
even about this as well, the topic you're currently talking about, yeah. I was literally doing this for my exam and my PhD because my topic's on Black women in the church and how they use technology and misogyny and misogynoir and all of that. And research shows that women who are curvier, you've got big bum or like you've got big boobs, or even that you dress sexier or you wear makeup in like religious spaces in the church, you're more likely to be discriminated against by the leadership, by the other people in the community. And then if you're Black, it gets worse. So yeah.
Oh, because of intersectionality as well. And girl, teach us, man. Have you got time to teach us a little bit from your ting?
Yes.
I would love that. I always want survivors to come on, but no one requests. It's just always these idiots, from the culture. Teach us, share. Because the next bit I was going to do was the Madonna Hall complex anyway. And that's what your thing is on, chair.
Yes. And because I'm a Black Christian woman. I'm a Black Christian woman as well. So like I've been through the court experience. Remember Potter's House? Like I've been exposing them.
Yes.
There's been women who've come to me and like been complaining about how they've been abused and the pastor's telling them to stay and they have a black eye.
Oh my, are you joking? Do you know what? This DV thing in the church culture, do you know what? Maybe this is what we need to talk, babe. Because I'm sick and tired of hearing about men putting their hands on women in these church cults. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it now. Like I'm really, really sick and tired of it, babe. Because I'm hearing about this. It's happening too often.
Again and again and again. Because it's a culture. It's a culture, though. That's what is being enabled. I hate to say it, especially in Black churches. Sorry, it is true. Because it's what happens in the Black community. I hate to be that person, but Diddy got away with what he did for 20 years. You see all these celebrities, they all knew. They all know. T.D. Jakes was best friends with Diddy, this mega church pastor, father of the brethren.
Jakes was supposed to be going to them parties.
Have you ever been swallowed?
Yeah! Girl! Yeah! T.D. Jakes must have paid some money to stay out of that court case. Yeah.
Bruh.
We talk about P. Diddy and T.D. Jakes for a hot minute. It's not just about the court case. Yeah.
What got me, it was one of the documentaries. It was like P. Diddy was learning from T.D. Jakes on how to manipulate people. He would put his videos on the treadmill and be watching him so he can mirror him. And I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, the church man.
That makes sense. So he learned from T.D. Jakes. Yeah, because he was going to the church. He was attending with Kim, the kids. He used to go, innit, to Potter's House.
Yes, and it's making me think of all this Kanye and then the Sunday service. These abusive men will use religion to harm women. They will use anything they can get, but religion is a powerful hold on someone. You're using God. Spiritual abuse is not talked about. We talk about schmexual abuse. We talk about physical, emotional, but we don't talk about the spiritual one. That's your whole reality of how you view yourself, everyone around you, and your creator, your creation, your purpose. To play and meddle with someone's destiny like that, that's demonic.
It's absolutely terrible. And that's why I say, like, you know, I come from a biopsychosocial lens, because we need to look at it from a biological, you know, like a psychological, and then we need to go into, you know, the spiritual element of things. Do you know what I mean? The metaphysics, because it's multi-dimensional. There's so many layers to this. And as much as we get the law change, we get this change, we get that change, the fundamentals of it is the education. It's educating our communities and creating awareness so that people understand and they know how to spot and they know how to notice. And do you understand what I'm saying? Because the laws ain't gonna do, if the laws start, and I'm not saying that we don't need the laws, we still do need the laws, but there needs to be that piece on education and people you know, like it being part of like the like curriculums in university, really understanding it, because that's that for me, that's where I feel I sit anyway. Like everybody's got their different, but you being being an academic yourself, you can understand the power of knowledge and education and what that does and how it affects, you know, a society.
Yes, and these uni campuses be like a breeding ground for a lot of these church cults a lot of the time. And the unis won't check it because they're bringing money into the uni. They will rent out spaces there and stuff like that, and they'll be targeting young people who are away from home for the first time, and they have like, oh, this student loan that they can now spend, and they're now vulnerable. They don't have any parent that's actually checking if the church they're going to is legit or is it full of grifters. So they're getting targeted, and the universities don't really care until like there's a lawsuit. This is why I'm I love the police and I love the law. I don't think they're great, but I think when you have to, you need to use them. And I think that the lack of repercussions and consequences in the Black community is the reason why a lot of the times things are enabled. I think that if we started pressing charges more, going to civil court, small claims court, criminal court, asking for money, getting contract, honestly, things would be better. But then also enforcing them as well, in a sense. I think that when we see people who are coming out to talk about their abuse at church, a lot of the times, like, people will victim blame them. Why did you go somewhere like that? You're stupid. But like a lot of the times, these wounds come from childhood, and these people pick on vulnerable people at vulnerable times, whether that's children, men or women. And then they also, at the same time, they attract vulnerable women and men and children. They attract predatory men and predatory women, and even maybe sometimes grooming predatory children to become the new pastors. Let's clock that tea, pastors' kids.
Yes. Girl, they're the worst. The PKs are the worst. Oh my God. Girl, why are they like that?
Let's clock that, because they're groomed by a narcissist.
Why are they like that, Chair?
A lot of the times they're groomed by a narcissistic pastor and a narcissistic first wife. Can we please clock the tea?
You're right. Hey. And it's learned behavior. Hey, girl.
Hello. Hey, I just wanted to talk on like what PhD Case said, like the vulnerable like people, like how they target vulnerable people. Because when I'm watching, like, I've been watching like a lot of bouncers videos about like SPAC Nation and these things, and I know SPAC Nation is like based in Peckham. I'm very familiar with Peckham, and like one of the spokesgirls, Jess, because I've been saying I wanted to speak about her for a bit. Like, she's obviously the same age as me, right? But what I've realized is, like, when I'm like watching Bouncer, he's mentioning stuff, and I think it's important for like the community to know that a lot of these people in the churches are picking on pain points, right? Like, you know, I've been through this and I've been through this, but I've come into the church and this saved me. So I think in these, like what you say, Leah, like when, you know, majority of these churches are in like poverty stricken areas, right? So with things like me, like with like from my experience, I get so frustrated because I think to myself, there's girls like me, like all over, like London, for example, who've been in the system, who've been through this and been through that, and they're seeing they're seeing girls like Jess, yeah, who are established in the hills, in the supercars, bundles, hair, weave, all of this. And they're thinking to themselves, I want to be like that. That's what I want to be, right? And they're also hearing her story, like, you know, she's grew up in Peckham, she's from South, she's gone through this, her dad was in prison, these things, right? And they're probably looking at themselves, identifying with that story. And I think that's like their way of getting more vulnerable people into these churches, right? And it frustrates me because I think to myself, if you have a story like that and you want to use that story to profit, like you're using it as a profit, right? You're not really using it to help or say, do you know what, like this is what I'm doing for the community. I'm going to set up a CIC and do this and build for girls like this. Instead, you're using it to bring vulnerable children or kids in, manipulate them into thinking, yeah, you can get the fast supercars easy if you do this and do this and do this. And I don't know, like I just thought I'd speak about it because it's really, really frustrating me, especially because she's from my generation. Do you get it? She's 24. Like you're from my generation. And they just did a whole thing on Oxford Circus. They were outside. They made a drill song. A drill song.
I need to do the content on it because I'm going to focus on Jemima. I've seen what they've done there.
They've done a drill song, right? There is young boys doing in the dances and stuff. You're going to a certain community, like, you know that we listen to drill. You know that we're from these places, from hardship. You know we're going to be attracted to these things. And you're using it as pain points, yeah, to attract these people in. You're taking advantage of their vulnerability, basically. That's on the grand scheme, this is what you're doing. And I look at it because I think like, okay, cool, like I've joined organizations and I'm trying to build awareness, especially about women in the community and what we go through on a day-to-day, exploitation, whatever. And I think to myself, what I stand for and what I believe in, yeah, it just frustrates me because I'm thinking to myself, if you was really like that girl, like you wouldn't need, like, you don't need to use the church, or you don't need to use your experiences to kind of like, you know, like even like her listening, you're meant to be a whole Christian and this, but like you're listening to, you're in a car, in a supercar, and you're playing gigs, and you're showing this lifestyle that, like, it's like you can't be lukewarm. Do you get it? It's either you're from the streets and this is what you're on and this is what you want to do, or you're that church girl in the church. You can't be one or the other. Do you get what I mean? Stop picking on pain points to try and lure people in, because you know that we're from places that, you know, we want money, we want the cars, we want that glam life. So I feel like the younger generation needs to wake up to these things as well. Like, you know, like don't just fall for the trap so easily just because you see them in Bentleys and all of these things. You're seeing the bust downs, you're seeing the lashes, and you're getting swept in quickly just because, you know, you've come from a place. And do you know what I mean? Like, be very careful with these things, because this is what they're doing to lure you in, and next thing you know, you don't have control over your finances, your mental health's going down, and you thought this is not, you don't even know what you're signing up for, you know. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
That's so deep.
Sorry.
Becca, do you know what? It's so crazy because I've been speaking to a few of the younger survivors and some of the younger SPAC survivors and just younger survivors, and they've been saying the same thing. Like, they've tried to recruit them. I've got mothers reaching out to me and saying SPAC tried to recruit my daughter. I've got so much content there that I need to release. And
Same. I know someone who's gone there.
I'm angry, Leo. I'm angry because these are girls from my gen. Like, I wanna. Do you know how bad I wanted to go up to Oxford? Like, I wanted to go to Oxford Circus, yeah. And like, when I saw that, I was like, I want to go there and say, bro, like, what are you doing?
No, we're gonna do it the right way, babe, because we don't let them get aggressive.
Yeah, they know exactly what they're doing. It's an operation.
They've got the PR, they've got this, they've got that, and me with my little tweeny self. But you know me, I'm so outspoken, yeah. Like, these things frustrate me so much because I was once there. Like, I know how it feels to see, like, you want the glam, like, you want the glamour, you want the glitz, and you find community in these places, and then, you know what I mean? Like, it's so easy for people's vulnerability, like, just to use it, and it just frustrates me.
It's just, they're shotting. You can tell the whole operation, because I've spoken to survivors from there as well. And like, guys, trap house. Come on. What
Come
kind of
on.
pastor is making a house? Yeah. And it's called Trap House.
I don't
And
need to go undercover, babe, because my ears and eyes are always on the streets. So I don't need to go undercover in SPAC, not a day in my life. The stuff that the receipts and the people that
it's
I
wrong.
know that have been affiliated with
Come
SPAC,
on,
I've got enough to put them away for
we're
a
from
very long
London.
time.
Like this is
Yeah.
close to home. It's not like we're all
Undercover
far
work.
away. Like we grew up in the end. Like our
You don't
people are
need to
there.
go undercover, bruv.
Our people are
Undercover
there.
work.
Like I know people that are there. Like I know people I grew up with that are there, you know? And I'm thinking
Bro.
like, oh,
Even the
frustrating.
exposer has done maybe 60, 70, 80 hours worth of content on each pastor with evidence, screenshot, criminal convictions.
The
Miriam.
BBC have done a whole documentary about them. I've seen. Sorry, Leo.
No, go on, babe. Go on.
I've seen mandem that I've grew up with, like young, like guys that are a bit younger than me that I grew up with that are in my area that I know. Your mum ain't got it like that. We were suffering together, and now all of a sudden you're on Snapchat outside Rolls Royce, outside in Gucci. What do you mean? I know you. I know you. You didn't like. You're not that. You didn't work for that. So
It's grooming.
and the next thing you know is, oh, Becca, I want you to come to this business adventure. I want you to come to this. So they're doing these things under business. They've got businesses, bro. These people are deep. Like,
but guys, did you see the documentary? They basically took a girl's details and applied for used her details for apply for a loan, but she was applying to a job. It wasn't even with them. It just had something to do with them. Do you know, like a mentor, spiritual father? Oh, you should apply for this. You should apply for that. So they're using the trust that they build with these people, these pastors, because they can influence your life in a certain way spiritually. That's why spiritual abuse was so bad that I was saying, where I've seen pastors alter who people marry. That's changing someone's destiny, bro.
You're so right. Because
that's
the man
demonic.
has the authority as well.
Yeah, and you know what, Leah, I think like we need to talk about is because you know the African culture. I'm African. This African culture, yeah. You know that a lot of them are doing this BLK magic. We know these things. We already know this is
for sure.
This is happening within the church, right?
Oh, it's confirmed in SBAC. Yeah, the survivor I know said that it does, and it actually haunted him. Like when he was telling me that, he looked visibly scared, and he said he didn't want to talk much about it. But we know how Nigerians get down, and I'm Yoruba. You can check the articles. Pastors do rituals on their congregation for money.
For money. What they do is because they have, these people don't understand that the pastors have they have someone else to answer to. Do you understand? They have somebody else they need to answer to. There's probably you don't know what type of thing they're under that they have to go back to answer to. Like it gets really, really, really deep. Do you get it? We're putting money in their pocket, and that money that you think their money probably is going to something else so that they can get more power, more influence to come and manipulate these people. It's a vicious, dark cycle, and I feel like we need to be more awakened to it. But the younger generation, especially, because all we're seeing is supercars, this, that. So we're not thinking like, oh, there's a spiritual connotation behind this. We're not thinking, oh, do you know what? Like there's a bond, there's a tie, there's a sacrifice being made behind it. We're not thinking like that because London's fast life. Everything's fast. We want things quick there and then. So we don't know the sacrifices they've had to make to get that. And it just, man, it's deep. It's really, really deep.
I talk about that in my PhD as well, the digital aspect of it. So the grooming's now become online. It's probably more influential online than it probably is in person now, because this is where they're, first of all, getting you to be wanting to join their group with their promotion. It's probably propaganda, actually. That's what it really is. And perception control, perception management. Anyone that speaks out against them, they use all their followers from the church to now go and report their accounts.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's a bit delayed. I can hear you.
Yeah, so this is what I'm saying. Like when the survivors are speaking their truth.
It's a bit delayed. I can hear you.
like the live, guys, because sometimes it does die if someone reports you. So yeah, they now report survivors, and they
Yeah, guys,
use the
don't cut the
internet.
live.
They use the internet to silence survivors while having a grooming ground for new victims. So this is why it's important for people like me to find out ways to help solve this, because yeah, they're making people want to join their groups. We've seen all these videos of them with like Gucci belts and Ferraris. They're now DMing these girls, yeah, and inviting them to groups, business groups, vision board, and all these things that target impressionable girls that they'd want to go to.
Yeah.
Or even other times romantic grooming. So there'll be like a girl that's inviting a guy that they've met online, and heard people tell me that as well, to other churches like Caris and stuff like that. The guy they're dating is going there, the girl they're dating is going there. So there's that aspect of it as well. So it's just it's a lot. And even in these group chats as well, bruh, best believe there's a private one on Telegram with Pastor Toby and his Miriam's and his little one, all the cronies, like.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, another thing as well is that they recruit through different like areas. So like beauty, and then they've got the music stuff, and then they've got, you know, like they call it wealth, nation, family, or whatever. They've got little different pockets and areas. I even had a woman come out to me, and I will be exposing it when I get better. Come out to me, basically someone on a photography course. Can you imagine? They contact photography students allegedly to come and take photos, you know, of Toby, like to pap him.
Oh my God, not to add AI and filter it out. That's a bad bitch right there.
Yeah, that's so they doing the most handsome.
Where's his wife? He's always around men. Have you noticed that, guys?
Yeah.
But apparently
He's got. I think they're like his. I think they're like his bodyguards. This is what I'm trying to say. This is definitely 100% a cult. Like, there's no two ways around it. Like, this is a cult. Like, you can't argue with that. Like, I think this is like for me, one of the first black churches that I've seen that's from ends that's accumulated so much money like this. And even that is like concerning, because like before it used to be the community, it was more, churches used to be kind of community based, but now it's like, you know, these like this is equivalent to it's like it's getting equivalently to the Vatican kind of. Do you get what I mean? Like a little bit with the riches and the money and stuff. It's like they're trying to get up to that.
Yeah, they're trying to build up their own denomination within a denomination.
Right. I feel like
with UCKG, you know, he's a billionaire pastor. He's built his own denomination within a denomination, like the Machiavellians. That's what they like doing, you know, like having controls of nations. Thanks for the follow. And with SPAC, what makes it so dangerous is the fact that it is a small cult. Do you know what I'm saying? And they haven't really got anything to lose. That's what concerns me.
It's small but powerful because of the celebrity connections as well, and that's the thing. Yeah, the celebrities keep on engaging with them, and black British media outlets keep posting him, and only Bouncer is really the biggest influencer really denouncing him. I mean, ZZ Mills sat on an interview with him, someone that we all know is a fraud and has harmed so many people. It's like you're literally promoting this guy, calling him funny. Like, he's just seen as a kind of a joke in our community rather than a villain and an abuser that he is, because we love to protect black men that abuse black women and abuse the community.
Right. And this guy, even when you see his videos and the stuff that he, like Toby, when he talks about God, like the way he even talks about God, it's not right. Like certain things he's saying, I think it's just egotistical, it's very ego. I don't know if I would say misogyny, but I think it's very egotistical, very proud, like, you know, puffed up. There's no humility. Like the Holy Spirit, the fruitages of the Holy Spirit, I don't see it. Like I don't see joy. I see just
Where's
control.
Where's his wife?
He's apparently got two wives. He's got two wives, apparently.
There's the misogyny.
I think he's got one that's been
apparently
like...
he sleeps with 5 women. There's 5
Yeah,
girls.
I think he's got one from Nigeria, and then that he's actually got one that he got with here.
Yeah, what's the wife's name called again? Because the one that he married when he was getting, they were threatening to deport him, is I think that's Mary who plays the keyboard. Why do I think the wife's name's Kim? Is it Kim, guys?
Not Mary who plays the keyboard.
Yeah, girl. That's what they say. That's what they say. That's what word on the street is or whatever. And then he's got his wife. Do you understand? That's what Bouncer exposed the other day, jail. So he is just doing it like, you know, like he's back home.
Doing the nasty at choir practice is crazy.
It's so mad. And they're all just in there, like, knowing that he's married to that woman on, like, that's just so dysfunctional. Like, it's mad in there, Jer.
But the abuse, the ABUSE that's taking place inside those houses, yeah, it's like, it's too much. It's too much. Because I don't know if you've seen, Bowser's put out a new video of, there's been a video that's been circulating of the ABUSE that's been taking place in the houses. Have you seen that, Leo?
No, which one? Is it the one about Enrique?
Yes, yeah.
BELT.
Yeah. Like that's just too far. And then I don't know why people don't report it. I don't know why it's still getting. I don't know why the propaganda around them is so, like, people are still, like, you know, people are still entertaining these type of people. These people, this church should have got wiped out long time ago. From when BBC.
Go on, continue, then I'm going to say something.
From when BBC did the documentary and we knew that they were doing some type of fraudulent activities and kind of like an extortion, they should have kind of got wiped out a long time ago. But what they've done is they've changed their name and then they've built businesses, right? And they've used the money that they've accumulated from other people to invest in these businesses. That's how they are. They're worming their way through the community because they've got all these different businesses everywhere. And then when they're reaching out to people, it's all under business events, but actually it's all around this SPAC thing. But they will say, oh, I've got this business event or this business event or this business event. So you just be thinking that you're going to a business event. And then next thing you know, you're actually tied into this church or whatever they call themselves, this cult, basically. You know,
We're in debt.
and you're in debt. I mean, £80,000, like, that's just ridiculous. Do you get it? Like,
not as tired as your mother, or not as tired as the gal them in SPAC, because allegedly they all get passed around. So my coochie's completely closed. So I'm not tired. Thank you very much. Yeah, and guys, I think as well, like, it's important to highlight here that when we look at SPAC, we do think of that, like, you know, the Lambos, the stuff that they wear, all their designers and stuff. But there's also like a hidden cohort of people, which are the children, the PK kids, the ones that have, you know, been raised in a cult like this. And because it's so dysfunctional and because it is a smaller cult, what I'm saying is people seem to think of like numbers and vicinity and buildings and things like that. But it really is about the level of exposure. The level of exposure that they get into the cult tactics, like the vicinity that they get into the cult leader, and they would be getting high level exposure to the cult leader because it's a smaller cult. So it's all of those kind of things that we have to look at. I don't know if anyone else wanted to. Oh yeah, that's another thing I was going to say. I think young people, and oh yeah, that's one of the reasons why cults like SPAC, Caris, First Love, whatever. A lot of the survivors that come out that have been abused the worst, they're church cult hopping. They're church cult hopping. Like, you're talking about that individual where Enrique BEAT him with the BELT, yeah? I know everything about him. First name, last name, I got the whole account, everything that went down. I know what happened before, what happened after, this, that, and the third. But the thing is with that individual, he's going to RPF now. You know, Pastor Austin, you know it's a MESS in there. Absolute
I've had my fair share of them too.
Absolute MESS. It's just, it might as well be White Garment remixed. Yeah, it's White Garment 2.0. That's what RPF is giving. So when you end up in RPF, that's when you're in the gutter of the gutter.
But this is, I wanted to bring this up because, you know, you was talking about, when you was reading earlier, you was talking about how these, it's like they will make sermons about you, or like you will feel like the sermon is being indirected to you. Like, I feel like last time I went into RPF, right, like I spoke to the Pastor Austin, right, and like I just felt like he directed that sermon to me, and that was my first time going there. I spoke to him and I just felt like this is for me, but like it was like you're indirecting some of the things to me, and I kind of like, I don't know, I feel like they have this way of doing things where they do that, like, you know, they see bits of vulnerabilities and stuff like that, and they'll just like indirect and things like this.
Well,
Yeah.
in RPF, allegedly, if you have like a visible vulnerability or this, that, and the third, Austin's been given out. I can't remember if it was 100 or 2 bills, 1 or 2 bills to young people. Now, if you're coming in there and you're homeless, and you're a care experienced child, or you're having housing issues or whatever, and you come into a church cult like this, and the pastor's giving you 1, 2 bills off the bat, and this is why. The tactics will be the same, but the cultural element of it will be different. So like in RPF, what they've said is they don't get them to like be giving like that. It's done in other ways. And it's like, rather they will give to them. It's more in the service. So for example, like when they have to be there at the stuff, and then they've got a whole shop that they're doing up in there. I wonder if they're doing appropriate taxes, but they've got a whole shop that they're selling like they're a proper takeaway chair.
Oh yeah, they've got a shop in there. They be selling African puff and all of that.
Sorry, go on, Deb.
They be doing all of that too in the shop, in the churches as well. I just don't like the coerciveness, Leah. I don't like how they coerce, these tactics when they coerce people into coming to the church. It's like, even when I went there, yeah. It's like, come upstairs, come for a goodie bag. No, follow me. Like, it's like, bro, it's like you don't have your own autonomy. Like, you can't even say, no, I don't want to. Like, no, I'm okay. Like, it's just like, it's like some beggy culture, like clinging on kind of culture. Like, you're not, it's just uncomfortable, you know? And even if you wanted someone to come to the church, that's not the way to go really about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's like a heavy coerciveness, like, you know, oh, newcomers and everyone sit, like, it's just like, let people be free. You can't, like, I know they're trying to do this thing where, oh, we're introducing newcomers and this is how but it's like, it's not by force, you know? It's like, I don't know. I don't like some of their tactics. And people that are neurodivergent as well, I don't think they would either, to be fair.
There's so much going on in RPF, but the people are so vulnerable. And the cases, this is why I'm saying red alert, stay away from RPF chair, because it's so bad in here. I need you lot to understand that the level of people that attend here are so vulnerable that I can't repeat the cases, because it would be putting their life at danger. I have to consider safeguarding. I have to consider people's safety and well-being. And because they're so vulnerable, there's a lot of cases that I can't talk about. But there is everything and anything going on in RPF, allegedly. I can't even lie. And the young people are going MAD when they leave, like totally losing it. Thank you, Trixie Beauty, totally losing it, like they're going completely off, guys. And I can't even, it makes it so bait if I say, but what I'm going to say to you is, this is the first call where I've had people like outside of the family, lover and church cult environment. So this is including people from within the community that have come forward with concerns about members from RPF. That's how bad it is there. And one thing I will say, because I was waiting to thing this, but you know, in there, allegedly Pastor Austin's claiming that he's building RPF city in Nigeria. So Austin has been telling these members for about a decade that he's doing an RPF city in Nigeria. And they've been given towards this RPF city. So again, the reason why this cult concerns me is because similarly, like my cult leader has the compound in the guise of Anakazo Bible School. These cult leaders do like because they want all the members to live together on a compound. Becca, did you want to come in?
Yeah, I just, for personally, like, you know, like from my own experiences, like I've church hopped a lot. Like, I've gone from different churches to different churches, yeah. And like, for me, my heart goes out to the girls like me, because I'm learning to see myself as multi-dimensional. Like, there is a lot of women and girls, younger girls, older girls, that are like me, that are gonna, especially African as well, because I'm African, that are gonna want to go to these places, want to go seek some type of community and this and that, and then you're either left empty, or you're left like, you know, it's like you left like someone's just been invasive in your life. It's like, you know, I've just church hop a lot, and like, you know, my specific church that I'm in right now, it's like, for me, the church that I'm not in, but the church that I was in from when I was a child, it's a whole different ball game, you know, a whole different ball game. But as me, because I'm black, I've said, okay, let me go to a black church instead. Maybe they'll understand, and maybe they'll this. But instead, it's just like, I don't know. It hasn't helped, you know. It hasn't, and it actually frustrates me.
Ones are the youth ones. They're the
Yeah, it
worst.
frustrates me. It frustrates me because it's like, you know, as a youth, like, we need organizations, we need support, but this is not where we want to be doing it, because like, we're either going to get but there's always like a price to pay. Everything, there's a price. There's always going to be a price to pay. But yeah, it's just a shame. But I rate Bouncer for doing what he's doing, exposing them. And I hope this time we wake up, because the things I'm seeing on TikTok, everyone's like waking up like, nah, this definitely is like SPAC, like this is a cult now. Like, we need to stop involving ourselves. The community need to kind of wake up. But they're using it as clout. They're using it as something to build off of, which is just, I don't know.
But they're gonna do that because what else can they do? They're back. When your back's up against the wall, it's about strategy. Because remember, these cult leaders are charismatic leaders. And the thing about charismatic leaders is they will take those members to the unalivement. And that's why we always have that concern and that Jim Jones thing in the back of our mind. Because when it's terrifying to see that when there's all of this information, survivors are coming forward, you've got a guy with a huge platform. That Bouncer don't have time. You can tell that guy's booked and busy. He ain't got time for that. So he's taken the time out to be exposing it, doing this, that, and the third. And you are still going, and you're still in there. I mean, come on. And
you have to be held accountable now to your own actions.
Yeah.
Now, like, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, you see, when you start to take it to the streets, which is what Bouncer's doing, that's what I did. I said, F this and F that. I'm just going to take it to the streets. Let me just take it to TikTok. That's the streets of the social media apps. Thank you, Black O. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because it's like, there's a way that we deal with certain mandem from the hood, like that's why he's taking it to the hood, to the community. Because if Toby wants to be doing hood gangster, yeah, then you gotta have to deal with the hood gangsters. Because I've already told babe, like, babes, it's not gonna take me 5 minutes to get the hood, the OGs on my side. Are you all right? The 45 plus. Oh my, have you seen me? Oh my God, yeah! The OG, are you alright? Oh my God, I'm young and fresh for them. Don't ever get it twisted. And that's what we need. We need the OGs to come down and sit down and just show him like you're not gonna do this in our community. This is what you can do, and this is what you cannot do. You know them ones, because that's the only thing that's gonna stop Toby at this point. The arranger of feminists strips women of their power. Yeah, I do. Yeah. If we're looking at the core of it, the fundamentals of what it's about, I will agree with you to some level. Sorry, Bex.
Because that's true. Like, when you go into these churches as well, like, you'll see women like that were born here as well, from London, that are born here. But you lot look like aunties, man. Like, you don't want to be looking like aunties. Like, you're 30 and you're looking like an auntie because you think that's a tie, or you think that you guys look tired. You guys don't look like the spirits there. You don't look like the Holy Spirits. You don't look alive. Your skin don't look clear. You don't look joyful. You look tired. Like, you shouldn't. You shouldn't be looking like this.
And the thing is, like, I always think, like, especially like, and this is not a dig, this is just the truth. Like, a lot of these girls, like, in these cults, like Karis, like Spat, they're plastered with makeup. They're wearing all these designer things. If they didn't have like the wigs and the makeup, because I've seen the Jemima one without makeup, I thought she was really pretty, and then I saw her doing a get ready with me, and I thought, oh,
don't even let me start.
I said, oh God, it's just the makeup. And that's the thing, like, that's a form of glamour magic. That's magic with the makeup, because you can make someone look, do you know what I mean, girl?
It's like the Jezebel spirit, like you said. It's the Jezebel spirit.
I mean, I'm not saying it is. I mean, according to the church people,
they have the Jezebel spirit.
No,
they're not
it's the
they're
Jezebel. I'm saying it
off
is
in their boxes to go and cheat on their wives. When I was a child, my pastor was literally a granddad. He was 70 with a pot belly, like his belly was the size of a globe. He had grandkids, and he was cheating with someone in the choir with his wife.
Gosh.
Oh yeah. When I was I've heard stories like that, but I'm not gonna say it because this one's quite deep. But like, there's a woman that I used to live with in our hostel, right? And we was talking to me, and she opened up to me, but she's a grown ass woman. She's like 50, and she said she was talking to me about trauma. She said, Rebecca, like I know trauma. She said I know. She said my pastor's wife, my pastor raped me in that church. Like I was getting raped. And she hasn't healed, you can still see she's stuck. I'm talking to a this woman's 50, grown ass woman, yeah. And you can still say, yeah. And she hasn't been healed. She was still stuck, yeah, in her head, that she was saying things like, oh, yeah, but I know he loved me more than his wife, and I know this, and I know that. And she was stuck. This woman was stuck. She didn't heal. She was stuck. And I was sitting back and I was thinking to myself, like, this is sad because you're meant to be an elder. I'm young. I'm 18. I'm listening to you. And you're meant to be somebody that is meant to lead. You're an older and you're stuck because of what you've probably gone to go and find community, and instead they've taken advantage of you. Like,
it's arrested development. Some people, their bodies are growing older, but their mind is not developing because they're stuck at the age that they were traumatized
age regression.
and they refuse to grow out. And life, bad things are always going to happen to you. Good things are always going to happen to you. You have to have that decision to grow, because you picking yourself, it kind of protects you from being sucked into places like this. Being cautious of people. And having boundaries, knowing that a love bombing is a thing that, like, for example, Pastor Toby does very well. So all this, like, buying you like meals and all these dinners and the designer, like a person said, Pastor Toby, I think he went to Gucci and he had all of these congregation people with him and only bought like Gucci for himself. Can you imagine?
He just moves like the guys from the clubs, babe. The 419ers. He's like the uncle.
He's moving like an uncle.
That's how he moves.
And they're following him. They're following him in hopes, because of the desperation, in hopes to be the chosen one that is the pastor's favorite. And there's a lot of people that act like that in person. I've seen it with my own eyes. You guys probably know people when you're in that kind of church environment that act like the pastor's favorite person. Like it's a competition. And it's a narcissistic thing, and pastors sometimes pit people against each other for them to compete for their attention, their love, so they can manipulate you out of whatever currency you have, whether that's money, status, connections, businesses. Honestly, like, this whole thing is very, very spiritual. It's called triangulation. It's a narcissistic technique. I talk about it in my PhD. And all these cycles of abuse is not just in relationships. That's what they refuse to tell you. It's in every aspect of your life, whether that's your job, your church, in the hospital. It's in every system in society, and it's a Jezebelic system. The devil, if you look in the Bible, the devil is the one that really acts like this, the divide and conquer. When he got kicked out from heaven, he took away some of the angels. That's why they were the fallen angels.
The fallen angels.
Even the Bible talks about how there's wolves in the church, and to be careful of people. There was people sleeping with their mums in the church that the Bible talked about. So the Bible actually warns us how decrepit some of the humans, well, so-called humans that claim to have the title of a Christian can be.
And this is what frustrates me. Thank you, PhD again. I'm sorry, I keep on saying that word frustrating, but this frustrates me because, like, if you know the Bible, you know when Jesus went into the synagogue, what did he do? He saw them build up marketplaces. The same thing SPAC Nation is doing, building up marketplaces, businesses underneath a church name, and Jesus came and smashed it all down. The first it says in the Bible, the first place that God, because I believe God, Yahweh, I think the first place that Yahweh is going to come and destroy and clean out is the churches. These people, it's like the Bible's telling you the truth, but it's like you still can't see. That's why I feel like there's a cognitive dissonance. There's a veil that covers their eyes that they can't see. Like there's so many different things to it, and I think, like, you know, when we say it's narcissistic abuse and stuff, those are like the the technical terms to use, because for me, I just look at it as they're from poverty stricken places. They probably come from broken homes, probably don't have, their father's not in the house, or their mum's overworking 2 jobs and this and this and that. They don't have no role models. They don't have no one to look up to. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like they're seeing maybe their friends die. Friends are getting taken away in the streets and all of these things. The only place that they're gonna go to, if they see a man that's like getting money and stuff, it's so easy for you to just say, yeah, I'm just gonna go do this, or I'm gonna go and join this thing because I'm gonna be in a place where God's involved and and get the money and all of these things. It's so easy to get swept away. So it's like, for me, I don't know, I just come from a more, like, I don't know, it just saddens me, because I just think, like, it's just easy for us to get swept away under these things when we come from broken homes and places like this. And the manipulation's so crazy, like, it's like they can't see, and there's too much pain to look at. Sometimes there's too much pain to even look back, to even think, nah, because you've come from poverty and all these things, and now you're seeing Rolls Royce, this and that, this and this and this and that. It's you don't want to let that go and go back. Do you know what I mean? It's too much pain. So sometimes you have to stick through it and just go through it, no matter, even if inside you're hurting and stuff like this. And I think this is what's happening to these young people as well. Like, they know, sometimes they probably know, they have this cognitive dissonance, like they know, like, this is not good, or something's this is wrong, I shouldn't be getting treated like this. But the pain for them to go back, or the pain for them to go back to their mum's house and stay back with their mum instead of not staying in these trap houses, it's too much pain to look at. They just just roll with the grease and just deal with it.
And Bridget said, it's what they know. All they know is the pain, the struggle.
Yeah, we get trauma, you get stress, we can get addicted to stress. We get addicted to groveling, even black love. Yeah, even black love. We think black love is struggle. Like, we must stay with our man, especially African women. We must stay with our man, even if our man is doing this in the house and our man's doing this and our man is doing this in the house. We must stay with them. This struggle love, this struggle type thing that's happening in the community. Like, it's serious, and it's like, I think it's generational. Actually, it's generational trauma.
And look, and just as you said that, Bridget said, literally, it's a nervous system thing. And that is absolutely true. That's what I was saying before. We try and find, meanings and signs and, the deeper meaning spiritually. That's how we've been programmed. We're not thinking, it's in the epigenetics. It's in the things that we've carried epigenetically.
Yeah,
and
through
that's
slavery.
The neurosystem. Yeah, you have to say slavery though.
Slavery, sorry.
A restriction now. Child, they are to us, babe.
But it's slavery though.
You and PhD are doing too damn much, man. Now they are to you.
You gotta be sensitive.
I'm very protected because I read the Bible that they falsify. And in the Bible that they falsified, that what you sow, you will reap. For every action you have, there will be a consequence, and there will be a time of exposure.
Amen.
So, are you ready to be exposed?
And this is the thing. I'm guessing that we believe in God because Leah still believes in Christ. I still believe in Christ, but I don't believe in the Christ that they are depicting out to be. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that Christ. Yeah, I believe in a different Christ, right? And I know that's right. Yeah, man, I don't. And it is survival mode. We've been in survival mode, but sometimes it's hard for us to come out of survival mode. That's why I don't put pressure on people. That's why some of them, I do look at them as victims, but the ones that hurt me are the ones that are using the victim type of mindset to get profit. That's the ones that annoy me. Like, you're not using it to actually say, okay, you know what, I'm going to build up a charity, or I'm going to do something to help other girls in my community. No, you're going to go to a church, you're going to work underneath a business, you're going to do all these secretive stuff. Like, you're not living your truth, but you're acting like you're living your truth. And then there's girls like me who are actually trying to live their truth, or that actually are trying to heal through things like this, but you're using it as a pain point to just get more members in the church, or to get more people to put money in your business. Like, I don't stand for that. I don't like that. You know.
It's a pyramid scheme in there. And I want to highlight something FKAPC said. Living in survival mode has been passed down to a lot of us. That's crazy. Learned behavior. We carry the trauma of the generations that came before us. That is so deep. As I read that, I was just like, wow, that resonates so much. And this is the cycle that we're seeing. And funnily enough, in these type of church cults like RPF and Becca, you've said it, like being from, African heritage, it's like there's this element that feels like home. Do you know what I mean? And that could be that could be for different reasons. It could be because of ABUSE. It could be because of the culture. It could be because I think the subservience and the way we have to be obedient and all of that, and the way that the parents are like generals, masters, and we're like little kids. I think that's also come from the religious element of it, but it's intertwined. When it gets intertwined with a lot of toxic, like African culture and spirituality, mixed with undiagnosed mental health and trauma, that's when I think that the next generation, they suffer because they carry all of that weight.
Even what PhD said about the woman who ended up getting the black eye, and the pastor told her to remain. Like that's borderline. That's like African culture. Do you know what I mean? Like you must stay with your man no matter what type thing, or if you do something wrong. Even black culture, not even African, but black culture. Period. Because I've been raised by Caribbeans and Africans, so I kind of know how it is on both sides. Like if you do something. If you do something wrong, you get this, or you get this, you get this. It's the same type of energy that you're seeing them putting out into these churches.
And guess what? Her husband is about to be a pastor, so about to be promoted to be a pastor even after this. And another woman in the church, a church mother, also told her to stay, and she just gave birth to a baby. So it's not just the men as well, it's also the pick-me women. We've been screaming this, and they'll be talking about feminist this, feminist that. But like my research shows that these women are also enabling men. Look at that pastor in Nigeria, the Nigerian one that harmed 80 children and women, boys, girls, and women, and doing spiritual baths, which were really to unalive the babies he put inside them. And the wife was helping him for years and years.
Yeah, I remember that. Prison. Oh my days, I remember that. Because wasn't that not in England though?
Yes, exactly.
This happened in the UK. This is happening inside the UK. They got arrested
in the black community. This is what I'm saying. This is why I'm trying to do the work that I'm doing.
I remember
because this is people's lives.
Babe, we definitely have to talk after. I think, and Becca, we're gonna talk as well. It's just because I've been unwell, but don't worry, babe. You're definitely on my list of people. Babe, you're definitely on the list of people for 2026. Don't worry. It's just that we haven't caught up. But I need to. But like, we really do need to chop it up. But what I'm gonna say is, in the new year, I don't want to say too much, guys, because I'm gonna put out all the information in about a week to two. I'm just waiting for Christmas to be over because I haven't been doing nothing. I'm gonna have an announcement for like our first survivor link up of the year. Yeah! So y'all better get ready or whatever. But we're gonna have our first survivor link up of the year. So that's to come, and it's gonna be really good because there's a lot more survivors that are ready to come out and meet other survivors, and so it's gonna be good.
Yeah, good spaces, safe spaces.
Yeah, and it might not even be that there's loads of us, because again, we're gonna build it. Do you know what I mean? We're gonna build it little by little. But I even say, even if 1 or 2 survivors come, do you know what I mean? It takes so much courage. I don't care, even if it's one person. Do you know what it takes us to get out of our bed and come and make the effort to like do something? So that's what it's about, guys. Because we're not the cult. It's not about numbers. Even if it was me, Becca, and PhDK, we would get something out of that. Out of that meeting. There would be love, and we'd all be on the same vibe, guys. So there wouldn't be no, weird vibes or, because we just can't have that. We've been through enough. We've been through enough.
Yeah.
We've been through enough. So I want the people there that are ready. Do you know what I mean? And that are just they're on that wave, and that, do you know what I mean? Because we've just been through too much, yeah.
Well, Yeah, I agree. I feel like we need more. I personally think we need more safe spaces for people to come together, share their experiences about stuff, and I think we need more trauma informed, like trauma based therapy, for things like this.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's just about.
definitely. Trauma informed therapy and approaches are really, really important. And that's even something like on my book that I've touched on. I think PhDK would know more, but I'm just getting into that and how that fits into like all of our trauma and the PTSD and and I suppose it is looking at it through that lens of grounding and like the neuroscience behind it and understanding how the body works and reacts. And I think it's like the reason why I think therapy and like the trauma informed approach, etc., is so important is because our head's like been in the clouds. And usually when you come out, not usually, you'll be in a disassociative state. So like having the therapy, being in the present, like dealing with emotions prior to joining the cult and then during, you need to start unpacking it. And a lot of people, like not a lot of, there have been people who have gone to Christian therapists. And I'm just like, how, like, for me, I just think that's a very like closed lens because when you come out, you kind of need it to be non-biased and not religious. That's what I feel. But a lot of people church cult hop.
It is
And
difficult though.
yeah,
I've experienced stuff like that, like doing the therapy with people who are like speaking about it, like the religion. Something it's hard. It is hard to do that because the therapist is gonna tell you the truth of what it is, and sometimes it's hard to let go of something you've been kind of conditioned to for years and stuff. But that's the first step forward. But it is difficult. It's not easy.
What has really helped me is coaches, because like I know therapy can be very clinical and it's very helpful, but also online coaches. There's a woman called the Level Up Guru, and I've literally booked a session with her, spoken to her, and she's gone through similar things, and a lot of the things in my PhD cross off with the things that she says on her YouTube videos. So there's women who are speaking about this and who are highly educated, because she's also in a I think she was in psychiatry or something to do with mental health or being a therapist, and Black Christian women who are educated and speaking on how to heal after being having almost humiliation rituals at some of these churches. That's what they pull on you. And she's spoken about how they do that, especially when a woman is beautiful, she's talented, she can sing, she can act, she can dance. Like, yes, she just has an aura about her. She's a chosen one. She's a bright star. Especially those women, because and these women always tend to be Black a lot of the time. The research shows that Black women engage with the church the most out of the Black community compared to the men.
yes.
And
There's a bigger percentage of women than there is.
yes, it's like 70% of Black women, Black Christian women, participate in like the Black church, yet only 20% of Black women are leaders. So basically, we're basically used as congregation. Do you know people that do the ushers, do the cooking, the cleaning in the church, take care of the children, and they ain't getting paid. They're basically doing unpaid labor.
We're slaves, babe. That's all. Disposable.
Yeah, man.
And they're abusing you at the same time.
Yeah.
That is so deep what you just said.
Dark. This is the things I have to research all the time. It's like living that and then also researching that as well and seeing it play out is it feels like I'm in a twilight zone. And it's like I want to rip off the blinders off everybody's eyes.
I think that's a good thing to touch on as well. Why are women more prone to going into these spaces? Why are we more prone to go to church and seek God? I think it's just seeking God in general. I think we're more prone to be seeking.
Them are there to find a husband. I'll be real. Let's be real. Let's be real today. This will be very real.
But it's not even guaranteed you're gonna find a man. It's not guaranteed you're gonna
They'll get
find
a dusty one. They'll get a dusty one.
They preach that though. It doesn't matter. It's what they preach in that church. They groom you.
It's easier to get a husband in the church. Like men are more likely to marry you in the church.
Yeah, they groom you. to be the perfect wife material for the abusers that they're conditioning to be the next pastors.
I think our mothers do that. I think the mothers do that. The mothers do that a
Society.
lot. Yeah, society. Like, oh, you must be a wife. You're gonna do this for your husband. It's never you're gonna be independent. You're gonna be like this. It's more when you get your man. When you get your man. When you get your man. So I think we already have that mentality that, like, you know, what we do is for a man, and not for ourselves. And I think like we need, especially if you come from trauma based or things have happened in your lifestyle, you kind of need to break out of that transition of breaking out of that mentality and being independent. It's not an easy one, but it's very important. Very, very important.
That's so deep, man. Oh my god, yeah.
No, but as children,
You
like
gotta chop it up though.
boys will learn.
Yeah, it's been a while since people have been on the live chat.
Boys were learning like how to be astronauts and footballers and basketballers while we were watching Disney movie where a woman always has to be saved by a man, or Beauty and the Beast where you're literally being abducted by a man against your will and you end up falling in love with him. Like, these are the kind of messages that we preach to young girls and wonder why they can't leave a man that's hurting them.
Yeah.
Or they can't leave a church that's hurting them, or a pastor that says they have their best interest in heart, but they don't. Even family members, a lot of the times, our parents are the root cause of why you're drawn towards like terrible, abusive individuals, organizations, groups, friendships, relationships. Because like they don't even teach you when you're growing up how to spot red flags. Because if you could spot red flags, you would spot they are the red flag.
Yeah.
So
You got preach today.
Cow.
PhD knows what she's talking about.
Yes,
I lived it.
We need more. We need more girls like you, because I feel like me. I'm just gonna take you to the hood. I'm gonna see
no,
it.
everyone's lens, babe, is complementary because we've got the voice of the generation. It's very important, babe, to get your voice like the current. It's very, very, and you're very intelligent. And then PhD comes in with the stats. We're 70%, yeah. Let's go. You gotta take us to school today, man. Take me to school. PhD, take me to school, baby.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you just need to be like, yeah. Because sometimes it's not everyday road, but me, sometimes I'm just like, yo, you lots are saying you lots are from Peckham, you lots are about this, these churches are in ends, you lots are, you know, going around in bus stands, going around in cars and stuff, you know, like, come on, man, like, do you know what I mean?
Now, guys, we're redistributing the power. So my whole thesis is about pumping money into Black female initiatives. So like Black women who are creating businesses in the church, creating ministries, who are pastors, finding ways to funnel back funding into them. Since we're doing all this unpaid labor anyways in the church and not even getting credit while literally getting abused by these men like that were meant to be dating or that are meant to be our spiritual fathers. I don't even know if you've seen in Nigeria, there was one woman that was saying that her pastor broke up her marriage with her ex and was sleeping with her and got her pregnant while he's marrying someone else, and the only reason he's with that woman is because he raped her, and the family said he has to marry her. Bruh, so these are the types of things that are going on in the manosphere when they have power, positions of power. So as women, we have to create our own spaces and refunnel the money, the resources, the time and energy back into our own female communities and children as well, which I'm really feel strongly about that. And that's support for single mothers.
You know what they're going to say, because this is another thing they'll start saying we're witches and stuff like this, because what happens is when women start to like have their own communities and things, they see it as a threat. They get afraid.
Because it is a threat.
It is a threat. It is a threat, but we also need to. I feel like we need to be careful as well because we don't want to push out the wrong. You don't want to push out the wrong agenda. Do you know what I mean?
But it is a threat, but we're always going to be a threat to them. That's why they try and subjugate us and use us for what we have, our labor. So I'd rather be a threat because they're never going to like women regardless. I'd rather use that money and use the time to build and pour into other Black women, and especially other like Black Christian women who are single mothers and other Black Christian children, like, because the men ain't doing it. Look at what they're doing to our community. Pastor Toby, Karis, all UCKG, they're ruining it.
They're not pumping anything back into the community.
Yeah, it's for themselves.
How can you spend £250,000 on bottles? Apparently, I don't even know if I believe that. But you got single mothers in there struggling. Like, there's people working in Sainsbury's and doing all sorts.
People that can't feed their kids for Christmas, that can't pay their light bill, they don't have water.
Yep.
It's the 419. It's 419. That's
people having to go food banks because they can't feed their kids, and Toby's doing that.
It's one of the coldest, rainiest winters as well. There's loads of homeless people around, and it's just like, again, these people are demonic. They really don't give a heck. And I think that having that education is really important. But I think you do it on TikTok. But the problem is they will get people to report you and ban you. That's part of like the digital terrorism.
Yes,
that they do. And it's they're actually like manipulating the algorithm to like further abuse the victims who have left them, which is literally part of the abuse cycle and part of the control and power dynamic. So this is the kind of things that the government that I'm trying to get policies on, because it's extending. They're using like the digital to extend it and then also recruit new victims at the same time, and then groom them on these platforms like Telegram, where they're deleting messages and they're having private lives where they groom them.
That's absolutely terrible.
It's important. It's important. I was gonna say something, I forgot now, but it's important that awareness is made.
Also, like when you look at the power and control wheel, there's an online element that they added to it, isn't it? For online ABUSE.
Yeah, because they came out and said the video that Bouncer put out, there's like a video of them saying, oh, any trolls or anybody that's trolling or does any of this, we make sure we troll them back, and we do this and we do that. So they have this type of thing that, you know, like they're, I don't know, man, they're just, it's for me, it's very ungodly, to be fair. Like, I don't like
demonic, because they're doing judge, bro. Like, Survivor told me they are doing juju in that place. They're doing black magic. 100%. I'm telling you, it's demonic from head to top to finish.
That's why I say, like, Pastor Toby, I'm sure that that these are high functioning cult, like occult warlocks, high functioning warlocks. And this is why I say that I feel that I think that Pastor Toby also has somebody that he has to answer to, like a higher warlock that he has to answer to, 100%.
Yes,
like, and I think that's when they put more pressure on the church. When the warlock is demanding something more, it's more pressure on the church. That's what I believe. That's what I think.
Guys, do you remember when he met Dutchavelli and the next day everything, or was it the next few days, everything about Dutchavelli came out about him with kids?
No, well, yeah, I remember that story. Yeah, I remember that. I do think there's some high warlock. There's some warlocks in Spac Nation. I don't think that they're a godly church.
At all.
They have to answer. They're doing some type of ritual or something to get something.
But guys, we saw this with TB Joshua. Some people might listen to us talking and see like, this sounds so far-fetched. This could never happen. TB Joshua was a Nigerian pastor and has a BBC documentary on him. It has several parts, and he was doing rituals on his congregation. There was videos of it. He had their pictures like in this ritual state so he can keep them under their control. And honestly, as person to person, juju works. So whether you think it's good or not, that's independent. It actually works. There's a reason why it's still been done to this day, and it's still a thing that happens on this planet that thousands or millions of people do.
The
because
thing
it
is,
works.
like if you see, when it comes to like witchcraft and things, like some people still practice it, like people still practice it, but it's in a good way, like connecting to nature and stuff like that. That stuff, I don't really I don't really talk on it too much, but I feel like the dark stuff, and I think that a lot
They're
of dark,
hexing people.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
hexing people. It gets really deep what they're doing, and the sacrifices they make, right? It can get really serious if it's
But
not
I only think that's if people psychological, if they give, like, like there's that scripture that says if you give like a doorway
Yeah,
to
a
the
curse can only land without a cause. Like it needs a
yes,
cause to land. So there needs
that's
to be
why
like an open
yes,
door.
yes. So if you don't like in my psyche, I've deconstructed that. So I've put myself at a level higher than the
Yes.
leader in my psyche as a goddess, as a divine feminine. So they can't touch me because a man came from my vagina, from my portal. So how am I
Which
gonna be afraid of Toby and Cole? How am I gonna be
No,
afraid
I
of
hear
Damien
it.
Mills and Benny here
which
when I've given birth, mate?
as a child
Yeah,
of
yeah,
God,
yeah.
who was a little witchcraft and you want to be doing candle and what?
This is what Bouncer said. Bouncer said, listen, even though Bouncer he's not Christian. Again, he's a Muslim man talking about these things, but he's been very neutral at the fact. But he did say,
Yeah.
like, I'll read my the hadith or the what they read in from the Quran and protect myself. He said that I'm not afraid. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if you're doing something, because witchcraft is all about intention. At the end of the day,
It's
if
just
you do
words.
something, yeah, if you do something with a negative intention, it's gonna come back. If you do something with positive intention, it will come back. So
If you
yeah,
believe it works, then it will work.
if you
Yes.
believe, yeah, because
And when it doesn't
manifestation and all of
work,
that.
it will bounce back on them. It's happened to me. People try to do something on me and it didn't work and it bounced back and hurt them. And I got double the favor. I was like, whoa, isn't that funny? You tried to hurt me and you ended up in a worse situation. I ended up doubly blessed. So when you go child of God and you got God's protection, you'll be fine. And God will even warn you about some of these pastors. Sometimes people think warning has to be a dream. Sometimes it's the way you feel, your body. God created you. You don't even, guys, can you name all the nerves in your body right now?
And this is
Can you name them? Because you didn't create yourself. We don't know. Even the scientists. I'm a researcher, right? My friends are PhD students. Like we create the research that creates the hospital drugs that you use. And bro, these people don't know anything about the human body. They don't know enough about the human body to be trusting in other humans like that. We're just science is all about discovery. We're constantly in a state of finding out knowledge, which infers that there's knowledge we didn't know before. So we don't know anything. So in a sense that when you go into these environments, these relationships, these friendships, your body feels things, your intuition, your gut feelings. Sometimes it's the hairs on your body. It just stands up, or you just feel uneasy. You get headaches. You feel like a ringing in your ear. There's something about this environment, a certain person, an aura, and like it could even be like I don't know, like the invitation. It just doesn't feel genuine. Their smile just doesn't feel genuine. They're smiling, but something doesn't correlate. What they're saying doesn't add up to anything in the Bible. And like when you question things, they feel uncomfortable with questions. These are some of the things that you do. And then also don't ever give your personal information. Just go in, go out. If you still want to go to church, because I don't even really go to church like that anyway. But if you still,
this is what I'm trying to say though, because for us to get to a point where we can determine what's bad and what's good, we have to get out of survival mode. We have to be comfortable with our bodies, because when you're in survival mode, you might not be able to, you might not feel safe to determine if this is bad or this is good type of thing. I feel like sometimes like trauma can like mess your brain up, where you don't really trust your body. So, or you don't not trust your body, but like if you have like gut feelings, sometimes we don't trust them. And you go through certain trauma, you kind of don't maybe not trust your gut feeling. It takes time for you to learn to trust your body and trust your gut feeling. I learned that. So sometimes we may feel uncomfortable, but we're stuck. We fight or freeze. Sometimes we might say, no, I'm leaving and I'm not dealing with this. Or sometimes we get stuck and we stay there. So trauma also does these things. That's why trauma-based therapy is important, because we need to train our bodies to do these things. I've been in church cults, not church cults, but like when they're trying to recruit you with the numbers and stuff like this, like when they're asking you for your personal details, so we can call you. Like there's been times I want to say no, but my body is saying like, I'm kind of stuck. Like, oh, I don't know, because I don't want to say no to this people pleaser. Like I don't want to say no to this person. This person was trying to help me, guilt tripping, all these things. But like those are normal things where I can say no. I don't need to give you my personal details. In fact, you shouldn't really be asking for my personal details. Is it even under the date? Do I even know if you're under the Data Protection Act? All of these things that you're asking me for my number and all this type of
it needs
stuff.
to be on the laptop, and it needs to be secured like under GDPR, and there needs to be consent. But a lot of the times they coerce you, especially with the repeated phone calls or like finding your number. They found my number in a uni group chat in ACS, African Caribbean Society. They were scouting, calling, do you love Jesus? I said, who's this? And he was like, do you love Jesus? I said, yes. He was like, well, come to church. I was like, I love Jesus. I don't need to come to your church. And that's the thing. They're not evangelizing. Evangelizing is trying to share the gospel. What they're doing is propaganda and marketing. They're trying to get you to come to their church and give offering to their pastor. And basically they're basically flying monkeys. You know how I was like reckoning this to a abusive narcissistic dynamics. The pastor is like the head narcissist, right? And these cronies that are like the cult followers that are doing the evangelism and the marketing, they're the flying monkeys. So you see, when like you break up with an abusive boyfriend and he gets like your mutual friends to go back and forth and get you to come back, or even to get his friends to recruit girls for him, because guys do that as well. Oh, I've smashed her before, she's a 10 in bed, you should smash her too. So like isn't it the same kind of narcissistic, abusive, predatory dynamics? It's just different settings. And these flying monkeys, again, they will groom you once you enter the church settings. And when you go through abusive situations like my friend, where your husband's hitting you, you just had a baby. In fact, they were the ones that pressured you to get married in the first place. They will then tell you you need to stay, all while promoting and rewarding the husband that they're also protecting and enabling his abuse against you, and then enabling him to abuse other women in the church by putting him in a position of power, of leadership.
Yeah. Oh my God, when you put it like that, you can just see the cycle of ABUSE, can't you? And the repeated patterns. And I think for me, as I'm doing this work and I'm speaking to various survivors, and I'm like kind of doing this systematic review that will be in the book, and I'm looking at these patterns, and again, it's just the same cycles. And it's the same patriarchal, misogynistic systems that protect these men. And there's just no accountability. And another thing that they do is, because of that isolation and us versus them, they like cut the members off from all kind of like external services to report. So the women can feel really isolated and really alone. And a lot of people don't factor in those dynamics, because you've got a woman not only trying to flee an ABUSE husband, but also a high control group. And all of their money, everything, because in my cult, they it was a rule that you don't have separate bank accounts. You have joint bank accounts. So it got to the point where, as the marriage progressed, my ex-husband had all these bank accounts I didn't know about. And I DUMB, and he had full access to my accounts because I made it joint. So that's how they maintain control over the women.
I'm sorry.
All right. I've had to start from like the ground up. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think people understand how devastating the financial exploitation and impacts are after leaving a girl. Because how do you prove it? They never put to your head to say, thou must give. So it's like, that coercive control, like it's true, we need to get these changes in legislation so that's accountable.
Even the unpaid labor, if there's a way to go to small claims court and at least maybe get like 1,000 or 2,000, because at some point things might start to qualify as work, like legal work. The amount of hours that you see some of these church members put in, with nothing to show for it. Yet the church gets gift aid, right? Which means that taxpayers actually benefit the church. The government pays the church money for every taxpayer that gives gift aid and takes it off when they get offering. I think they double it, in fact, whatever contribution.
Because you're not thinking about these things when you're in there, babe, because they're telling you it's a spiritual institution, and it's not a charity. There's a lot of manipulation. There's a lot of manipulation. That's why I think our best bet is really coming as a collective and really looking at what we can do as a bigger group. That's where I think the power, that's why I didn't just go, because you can't do this alone. Do you know what I mean? You need like a collective of people, because it's so hard to prove. Do you know what I mean? Like this church cult behavior. The power is in the numbers and the voices.
It's all in the research though, because when I did check the research, it's like not under research in the Black community, but in general, I would say that men have been using whatever they can to abuse women, like in whichever way, in whatever capacity, and children. And this just happens to be another domain.
You're right. And I think it's been highlighted because of the narcissistic collapse. And I do believe that these religious institutions do fall under that umbrella. And that's why we are seeing, as much as they try and, wing it, it's growing, it's strengthened, this, that, it just isn't. Recruitment is the lifeblood of a church cult. And, they don't have access to that wide pool of people anymore. Do you know what I mean? Because people are waking up and they're like, oh, first love, charisma.
That's why they're going to social media. Because now they have the international stage. Because when you have a physical church, you're kind of limited to the people in your community to scam. Now, when you go online, you have literally the whole world at your fingertips to scam and abuse and groom and recruit. This is why it's so dangerous, especially younger girls and boys, and that internet access, it's getting more and more dangerous. Especially Pastor Toby uses AI. What's to say this guy hasn't been using AI to do AI miracles or AI content or whatever? No, because he's literally a criminal, and he's literally has a pattern, an evidence pattern of manipulating people. So now add the technology aspects. Of course, he's just going to extend it to that.
Yeah, they're going to use all of these things to their advantage to get to where they need to be.
They will, and they won't stop as time goes on, and society progresses and changes, and that like these cults, they shift shape. Do you know what I mean? They're like chameleons to camouflage themselves into like wider society, and they claim to be in the world and not of the world. Miss Kiko in the cup, but they're more worldly than the world. And I feel like since we've been healing and awakening, and people are choosing to heal and get on meds and explore therapy instead of getting a personal profit, people are waking up to the manipulation. They're waking up to the EVIL, and I think that that's what's kind of slowing down like the exponential growth, because they have exponential growth like every so often, like every 10 years, when the generation's forgotten. And that's why I say silence is compliance, because we need to speak out so that the next generation are aware. So like what you're saying, research is absolutely paramount. Speaking out, the collective voices of survivors speaking out to create awareness. And that educative piece, PhDK, as you said, it can be done through spoken word, it can be done through art, it can be done through speaking, it can be done through actual academic research,
documentary, because mine was a documentary, and I would just showcase how like domestic violence, abusive relationships happen, like, and especially in the church, how these men are protected and they prey on women, but they say they're praying for women, and it's just these positions of power that they constantly abusing, especially with children. Even if it's not direct abuse, it's the ideology sometimes that are preached as well, where it's like women are not allowed to have makeup, they're not allowed to wear jeans in some places, or they're not allowed to wear skirts. Like they're controlling how women dress and their identities, even sex and the shame shaming of it as well, to the point where some women are so scared, like when they actually get married and they can't enjoy it, the stigma around it. I know people say, oh, they can't do certain types of positions. Can you imagine? And they can't do certain types of, you know what I mean? I'm like, you know, because it's against Christianity. Where in the Bible, I don't know where that's ever said that. I don't know. If I'm wrong, let me know. But
Yeah. I think that is between you and God. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's just like what you do.
That's what they preach in my old church.
In your married home, like that is between you and God and your relationship. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to have an individual relationship with God first. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just be following what these people are saying, because it's like you lose your autonomy. And I think also, like, I know this is besides the point, but like, what Leah said a lot about when the survivors leave the cult, yeah, the integration into the world. I suffered with that a lot, like to integrate back into like society. Like that was very difficult for me, because you're so used to the world is bad, the world is this, the world is that, the world's evil. So that doesn't help with PTSD, because already you've got this trauma, and then now the world is evil. You have to kind of change your perspective on the world too. Because if you're always feeling like the world is unsafe, you're always feeling like people are out to get you, you're never going to have the right perception or perspective on life, because you're always thinking bad, and it's like it's closed-minded. So I think that needs to be spoken about. Leaving the cults and like how they integrate back into the world. I feel like that's very important for me as well. And I think that's, but I know that was just off topic. I swear I got ADHD.
No, that's important.
No, that's PhDK. I
was gonna say, no, that's so important. That autonomy is very important. I'm gonna go deep now, okay? Because we're talking about the Jezebel system, because they always like to say these women are Jezebels and say we're hoes and all of that because of how we dress. But really, when we look at Jezebel in the Bible, it was a spirit. It's not got a gender. It's a pattern of behavior. It's a pattern of control. You see, Jezebel basically didn't have to be the king. She just had to get in the king's ear. That's the power the pastor has. The pastor's in your ear. The pastor's telling you what spiritual decisions to make, who to marry, what job to get, what city to move to, what your spiritual gifts are, how to grow them. So you see how you can be easily manipulated when you lose your autonomy, especially as a woman. Jezebel needs your autonomy, basically, or your autonomy is your own will, your control over your own actions, your own time, your own money, your own emotions. And as like Leah works with like this recovery for high control groups, that's what it's called, high control. So when you meet a narcissistic man, a narcissistic friend, parent, group, the first thing they're going to try and do is control you. That's a telltale sign, because humans are easy to read, because I've got ADHD. I've got really good pattern recognition. And luckily for me, humans work in patterns. So that's why a lot of narcissists, they call them textbook narcissists, because they act in similar ways, just in different settings. So that's how you know that this group is not good for you, because now you go there, you now start changing your group of friends, you start changing how you dress, you start changing your values. Maybe you're someone that never really even cared about marriage, and then you go to this church and now you're obsessed. And or like you're somebody who used to be creative with their makeup, and now you feel shamed for wearing like your red lipstick to church, and they're shaming you for wearing eyeliner or a certain skirt.
This is resonating. Leah, I've got to show you some of my pictures, because I got sent some of the pictures when I was in church, and I was under a bit of religious psychosis, yeah. And I'm comparing myself. Like, my skin was so dark, like I just looked so like I don't know, like it just looked, when I look at myself
drained
now, like
drained.
even now
your energy was being siphoned. It's spiritual.
even now I'm looking at my skin, I'm like, my skin's better, my skin's glowing. Like before I would wear makeup and stuff, and it's like I would always try to like look nice, always wearing heels because I wanted to look like those girls that were married or trying to get their boyfriends. So we're all wearing heels when we're going to the big sermons and stuff because we know there's going to be man. Do you know what I mean? All those things, but we're trying to act like we're not there for man, but we know we're there for man. Do you know what I mean?
They groom you to be a pick-me. It happened to me. They were telling me I can't wear stripper heels.
You know what I mean?
And I can't wear
my
leggings to
lipstick.
church because I'm distracting the husbands.
And
like,
me,
if your
I was
husband
going
is
in-
looking at Nyash, your husband is looking at Yash. I beg, did God not give me
Oh, yeah.
Nyash?
I had one friend like that. She was called Evan. I had one friend like that, and she came in with like these long black boots, black this, black that, and come see the men in there were looking at her. I would go in with trousers one time because before we wasn't allowed to wear trousers, and I'm just getting looked at.
They're
Or if I have a scar
salivating.
on my nail, on my shoes, I'm getting looked at. You know what I mean? Like
That's
it's
the
not.
thing. They're salivating at the same time they're judging you and preaching sermons against you, but they're moving to you behind church scenes.
That's happening. It's happening a lot. Oh yeah,
They want
I've
to
heard mad
smash.
stories. They've left mid sermon to go smash and come back. Yes, things was popping off mid sermon. They would leave mid sermon, book a hotel in some of these conventions I was attending. Book hotels, go smash it, and then come back because they're dating. You know they're dating, but we're young. We're young. Do you get it? Do you know what I mean? But
They used to
we're
have camps, like sleep with each other in the dorms and the hotel rooms, and we go away at camps.
Church
you know
camp.
when you go away.
You
to
mean
the
Love
big
Island?
conventions. Listen, and we know we're dressing up for man. I know I'm dressing up. I know because from when I was a kid, my mom was telling me, husband this, husband that, husband this. So as soon as you go to big conventions and you start seeing other, you're gonna want to dress up and look. These times I weren't looking good. Check me out now. I weren't looking good then.
Your energy was
But
being
you know,
drained.
in my mind, I'm there projecting this. Oh, I think I'm this and that, and I'm looking back at myself, and that is psychology already. It's crazy to me because I was looking at myself. I was thinking, I thought I was the thing. I thought I was that girl. Like, but I weren't. I thought I was, and I was conditioning myself, and I didn't even look good. I wasn't even healthy, to be fair. Like when I look at myself now, and you know what? Even sometimes, like I feel like when I go back, because sometimes I do go back, because sometimes I have my own doubts or my own feelings, and I go back. But every time I go, it's not a good look for me. Like I've realized, like me being in these environments, they don't look good on me. They're not even correlating with who I am as a person, my personality. It's not even making sense.
Go no
It's like I'm faking something just so I can be approved by my mom. You know, I've had my mom say to me, you know, if I get higher up in this church, she'll buy me this and buy me that. But there's never been a time when my mom supported me or been there for me when it's like things that I want. But when it came to, so I had a lot of. I'm not gonna dive too deep into it, but I had a lot of I had that type of pressure on me where it was like my mom wanted me to elevate. She still wants me to elevate now, but when I'm looking at myself as an adult, I'm thinking this don't even correlate with me. Like
elevating the cult is crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on. There's a lot of pressure on the younger generation to become like get higher labels up in these churches. There's a lot of pressure, and you lose yourself. You don't even start. You know, I lost myself.
It's narcissistic.
I cut off all secular music. I was preaching to man them in the ends, bro. I wasn't wearing. Listen, I was running. I'm now having to deal. Yeah, I'm now having to deal.
Wait. Can you play by play? Wait,
we
you were
gotta chop
preaching
this
to
up.
man them in the ends.
Yeah.
How
did
They do RADICAL. They do.
It can turn you, and then you know what the worst part about it is? When you look back, when you come out of it and you look back and think, rah, like, you know, people are gonna remember me as that preacher girl, always in skirts, always this, always that. And now you're gonna see me. Now I was skin out in carnival, and I'm thinking, look at this now.
Why?
And you know but it's the cognitive dissonance. It's that it's separating the two. It's very
Because
traumatic. It's
the
very, very
Madonna whole
traumatic.
complex we were talking about earlier, they place women, because I've had the same thing. I felt like I've either been this pick me religious woman or this like over the top, like out there wild. And it's like, because society places you into two boxes as women, it doesn't even
Yeah.
give you the option to be both. It's either you're one or the other. Yet we're women, we're everything and more. We
Yeah.
can be sexual, we can be modest, we can be classy, but then we can also skin out my pom pom.
Yeah, we
Like
can
for
do
our-
all of that as well with I would say with moderation.
yeah,
but
for our husbands, because did God not design sex? This is a demonization.
Thanks, guys. Yeah. This is you gotta remember your safe words, man.
Oh, sorry.
Don't
I'm
worry,
so sorry.
Jen.
I'm so sorry.
Guys,
I'm so
no,
sorry.
but it's serious. Like
But
Leo,
God,
when I see how I was before, and now I see how I am now, I look at myself and I think to myself, I do have to still do some deconstruction, because I look at myself and I think like, that wasn't me. That's not me. That was when I was at my most vulnerable state, and I was just covering up, trying to find some type of hope, you know. And it's very serious. It's very, very serious. Like we have to deconstruct these things, because
It's
yeah,
still fresh for you though, innit? And you're and as
yeah,
well,
it is.
like, you were born into it as well. It's like, you know, Jen. Oh, hey Esther, welcome.
Yeah, being born into it is different,
it's
because you feel
different.
this guilt. You feel this guilt. There's a lot
Yep.
of survivor's guilt. Like you feel this guilt. Like,
Hi, I had to cut off my parents as well as the church, because my parents are the reason I'm in the church. Let's clock that.
yeah,
Let's
like me
clock
and my
that.
mom still have issues to this day, but obviously she's my mom at the end of the day. Like and what I've been through so much now. I'm just thinking to myself, like, I'm an adult now. Do you know what I mean? If I don't want to go to church, I'm not going to church. Like, you're not going to force me.
Because you know what the thing is, yeah, me being a researcher, I see things on a deeper level, because it's like being around toxic people. It's not just, oh, they made me cry. These people are breaking down your health mentally and physically. A lot of us have like chronic issues, especially in the Black community, and as women, fibrosis, like even I have eczema, immune conditions, a lot of issues, because we've been around toxic situations. A lot of autoimmune issues actually come up, and it's all to do with stress. Stress is a number one cause of disease. So when you're in a toxic relationship, toxic group, just anything toxic, it's literally eating away at your time on this earth. Deep it, guys, we're a ticking time bomb. Like, we're born and our bodies are slowly deteriorating until we pass. It's certain for everybody. So you need to be around people that make your time on this earth worthwhile. And the people, I don't care if that's my parents, my brother, my mom, my dad, I don't care who you are, a group, the church. If you're gonna ruin my experience, my human experience on this earth, I'm gonna just leave.
Yeah, you've got to reestablish boundaries. I don't think all churches are bad. I don't think all the people in the church are bad. But I think sometimes, personally, if it's not for you, it's not for you, and you shouldn't have to be forced or coerced into it. You know, it shouldn't be like a life or a life thing. Like, it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be black or white. It shouldn't be, if you don't do this, then this ain't gonna happen. That's where the trauma for me started. It was more like, if I'm not like this, then I'm never gonna have a good life. I'm not gonna have a good life. And I don't think that's the way, especially when we're dealing with people who've been through this type of stuff. That's not the way to kind of approach certain people. Do you know what I mean?
They act like a gang. And it's like, even when they talk about people who have left, like, oh, they left my church and now they're pregnant with no father. And I'm just like, is that how you talk about people that came to your church once, were under your care? What kind of BS is this?
I've had servants in the church come up to me and say, I've joined back, I've come back, joined back, come back, joined back, and I've come back, and they're like, oh, you know, Becca, I'm really happy you're back, because I don't want you to turn out like my daughter. Like, she's you know, she's ended up having a baby and she ain't part, and like, I don't want you to turn out like my daughter. And I'm thinking to myself, like, why would you do that to her? She's a child.
And the whole time it's because of their parenting. If that's their child.
But it's like we also have autonomy. Maybe we don't want to get married under the state. Maybe we want to do things differently. Like we shouldn't be so condemned. We shouldn't be just like, it shouldn't be like, oh my days, like you're not gonna survive, or you're not gonna make it, or God's not gonna favor you, because really and truly that's not how. Because God raises the sun on the righteous and the unrighteous. So God doesn't work like that, Just because you've had a kid and out of wedlock, or you haven't done things like the biblical way, doesn't mean he doesn't love you. He loves you less than the person who's in the church 24/7. It doesn't mean that, But they have this, again, that word that Leah spells out, that type of thinking that, it's like a black or white thinking. Black and white thinking. And I think, Leah, that's what's giving me my EUPD,
Yeah,
I'm being so clear.
you're with a, but even I have UPD and I don't act like this.
Yeah, but
this is beyond this. This is narcissistic.
Yeah, but I think
not,
like these behaviors have obviously made my mind into a certain way with other stuff as well, but it's also made because a symptom of EUPD is black and white thinking. Like you have this black or white type of thinking. But I feel like hearing this hasn't helped. Like being in the church like this has not helped, where they do have this black or white type of thinking. It doesn't help the EUPD. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody's individual. We have our individual cases. Do you know what I mean? There's certain approaches when it comes to certain people, but these churches are not informed like that. They're not.
Yeah. I thought you meant the pastor has UPD.
No,
you
mean
you? Me too. And I was thinking maybe that's part of the conditioning of why we were maybe attracted to these groups in the first place. Sorry, I was confused. I didn't hear you. But yeah, I have it too, and I talk about that in the documentary as well. And I think that it goes back for me, my parents.
We should do a viewing with your documentary, in the new year. We should do a viewing because it's relatable, like some food, and then have a discussion. Maybe you could do like a little
question and answer.
Yeah, I was planning to do a cinema screening and sell some tickets.
You have to tell us when.
Yes, next year. It's in the works, but it's something I'm planning with live music, hopefully.
Oh no, you have to let us know that we want to come to that, girl.
Yeah.
We want to come to that, girl. That would be a wicked Survivor link up. Do you know what I mean? We could do that as a Survivor link up, like on the day, and then we could and then maybe like as survivors we could go out to eat after all. You know what I mean? Like. It would be a full experience. That would be
I really want that. So many people related to it because, again, so many people have also been born into it. Me too. And it's like the reason, again, I was in that church with these narcissistic, toxic people were because my parents were also toxic and narcissistic. And it's hard to say, and I know it's shocking, but it's the truth and it's real. And I think that's why I like social media, because a lot more people are being honest about the families that they were born into, the systems that are around them, and how they all kind of mirror each other. And psychologically, because my PhD includes that too, like we tend to replay what happened in our childhood again and again until we break the cycle, because the brain wants us to figure out how not to get ourselves in that situation again. It's a survival mechanism for us. So when you actually realize, okay, if I actually cut off my parents, it's made it easier for me to actually leave toxic, abusive relationships, because I realized, okay, this guy is just doing what my dad used to do. He's ghosting like my dad used to do. He's hitting me like my dad used to do.
Emotionally unavailable.
He's emotionally unavailable like my dad used to do. Oh, my friend is talking about my body like my mom used to body shame me. Or she's jealous of me like my mom was. Or she can't be happy for my accomplishment like my mom can't be. And then you start to realize and key in all these points. And even with the church, in the same thing, like the way fathers control their children's daughters' dressing and sexualize them from an early age is the first form of patriarchal conditioning that we have as daughters and as women. And then in the church, that's extended in the school, the dress codes. Oh, girls, you guys have your skirts above your knees. The male teachers are looking at you. So it goes on all throughout, like even in jobs, like the dress code's there. And if you're dressed a certain way, now they think you've slept your way up to the top. So there's just all this schmexualization that goes on in society and in family, and it's all linked to each other. But the root cause is the father and the mother and the family unit, which creates our communities, and the communities create the institutions. The institutions create the policies and the laws, and the laws and policies create the government and rulership.
Yeah, that was wow. That was preach. You know, even when Leo, when you talk about Breenie Lee and the modesty and stuff like that, like how Breenie Lee like has brought out this whole clothing line and stuff like this, like it is given patriarch, it's given pick me.
So performative, that one, honestly, like she really is. It's so triggering. She's like the next generation of aunties, and it's so triggering.
Bro, it's when she said, did you see this Jezebel spirit leave my eyes? And she had like a video when she was like dressed up and clubbing, and she's like, this was the Jezebel spirit in my eyes. And you can see it leave when I gave my life to church. I was like, do you know what the Jezebel spirit is? Because baby,
and how do you heal? How do you heal healthily if you're looking at your past self negatively? You haven't healed then. You know what I mean? The full healing is when you look at you look at your past self and you love your past self. You love her and you thank her for how she's got you to where you are today. But if you're condemning yourself for how you was, it doesn't give healing. Again, it's a cognitive dissonance. It gives this type of separation. This type of split. It's a split.
It's called emotional and spiritual bypassing. So basically, like, she's not taking accountability and responsibility for her actions before she was saved. And a lot of people do this with different religions. They'll use their conversion. That's why you see a lot of people go to jail and all of a sudden they're Muslim now, because they refuse to take accountability for their actions, and they need to blame it on some sort of external force, whether that's a demon or a jinn or whatever, low vibration energy. We'll just replace it with whatever excuse that they're going to give to bypass the fact they made mistakes, and they refuse to take accountability and face the consequences of it.
Right. And then this takes me to Jess RV, when she comes with I got brought up in the hood, I was this, like, victim mentality. I was around this and this is what happened to me. And she even spoke more about her father and her brother's story than her own story, right? And she's using this type of, I would say, victim mentality to say, this was me before, this was how my life was before, but this, instead of actually saying, no, this is who I am today, that made me that, this is why I am like this, and I'm better and stronger because I went through that. There's no accountability. You're just using pain to profit. You're just you're being you're a victim, and you're not a victim because you know what you're doing. Do you get it? You know what you're doing. It's painful.
All these Christian women and these Christian men on these podcasts, if you see it, and she's ironing his clothes while he's banging his side chick, the wife. And they're on these podcasts. They're on these wifey podcasts, and there's all these men just embarrassing their wives, talking about how many women they've slept with and how their wife was someone they settled for because God told them to.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Absolutely repulsive. And again, it's just showing, the gender hierarchy and inequality, because we are, second class citizens, and then there's like that generational cycle that happens where the women are being raised, to be a slave, to be a doormat, to be a wife, and it's just the same cycle. And then women are being brought up, there's no sense of identity. It's like your whole identity is in being this wife, and there's so much pressure on like young women, do you know what I mean, to be this model kind of like wife, and all these rules, and it's just too much to put on, like a child and a young person that's transitioning into adulthood. And it's like for a woman to be so male-centered as well. There's no education around like emotional intelligence, boundaries,
safeguarding.
Are there even legislations, and do they even follow legislations like safeguarding legislations?
No, one thing that I want to kind of enforce is kind of like a mystery shopper. There already is this organization that goes into churches unannounced to do kind of like a Ofsted inspection, but for churches, which is really good but a lot of the abuse doesn't happen in the church, in the pulpit, in the service. A lot of it is during the week.
Yeah, behind the closed doors.
And there's also women outside of where men and women outside of the church cult environment, and they're using the same tactics. It's just the onion. There's just so many layers. There's so many layers to this, because there are women that are victims, and it's like they don't know anything about the environment. Sometimes they don't even know that they're pastors and supposedly happily married. They're in huge mega churches around the world.
It's like that Toby and Tommy Aromi situation as well. Yeah, girl. The Nigerian pastors are taking the cake on this. I can't lie. There's a huge problem in our community. Huge.
Definitely.
There is.
Definitely.
I've started looking into Mountain of Fire miracle ministries. I've had survivors coming forward, and it's just absolutely horrific. Like the coercive control, the financial abuse, and especially the control, like how it's like uniformed. Do you know what I mean? It's like very army, like very old school, archaic ideologies. And so the young people, it's like they're in a time warp. They're in another universe. And so even, can you imagine being a young person and having to reintegrate back into society when your cult is like 50, 100 years behind popular culture? Like in a lot of these old school churches from back home, they can't wear jewelry, they can't wear makeup, the skirts on the floor. But look at the popular culture, how kids are even dressing, like that baggy aesthetic scene. It's like kids cannot explore their true identity and authenticity.
Yes, there's even an I think it's anti-black, the way they hate locks and the way they hate natural hair.
Yeah, it is.
But that HAT with natural hair, it depends on the pastor. Because if the pastor likes natural hair, then all the girls will have natural hair. If
And
the
I think
pastor doesn't like, you know what I mean?
I think it depends on what kind of thing, because a lot of these churches also want to follow underneath the European type of YT type thing. Like they want to, fit into that, because I feel like they're trying to do their own little Vatican. So I feel like they're trying to you must be looking clean and presentable, and you can't, it's the same type of thing. Yeah.
It's like if you go in and your hair's not done, the aunties will point out your hair's not done or you don't look good enough. But then if you look too good, then they'll also bully and shame you as well. So you really can't win.
That's that. I understand that. Like I said, like if I had a little scuff on my shoe or something, like it was like a look I would get, or if I wore because I was different. I was going into church with green lipstick. I did not business. I was going full, I was not okay. So I would get a lot of them saying why you got green lipstick on? Why you got this? My nails would be long. I had all of, because I was just I was still trying to, because you know what? I came out of the system, you see? So because I came out of the system, I had that type of freedom already. So I wasn't really trying to be that type of person already. I kind of was wild already. So when I went back in, it was I still wanted to embrace that side of me. But it was very difficult because I was getting judged and looked at, and I don't think they look at it as a kid trying to express themselves. They look at it like you're not following the rules and stuff like that, and
control.
Loudly.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. Imagine that though, feeling like a prisoner in your own home. And that the dynamic of that when the parents are ABUSE, because the doctrine is so RADICAL. So the control never stops. Not in the church. It's like the kids have to be performative, 24 hours a day, and that is draining.
It is.
That takes a lot of energy, and I feel if especially you were saying, if you've got undiagnosed neurodivergence, and you're having to mask and be fake, and that it's hard for young people, man.
No, it is. And we end up falling away, and then when we fall away, it causes problems between our parents, our loved ones, and these type of things. And because especially if they're still in the church. Like it does become difficult, and I feel like parents, they don't want to understand as well, like the world, the pressure. I mean, some parents, they are educated on the peer pressure and stuff, but when I was growing up, it weren't like that. Like, you know, when I was growing up, it was very like, you know, hard, you know, and I don't think it was easy, and I don't think they shined light on how difficult it was for young children to be in these type of environments. Like, go to sermons on a weekday, go to sleep, wake up, you know, study the books, this and that. You don't want to. Like, it's just like,
I
you
think
know,
they know. They're also doing an element of control as well. Because remember, it would be like you're forced to go to church. It was never really, for me anyway, it was never really like, oh, do you want to go? It's like a forced thing. Like,
Yeah.
if you didn't go, there'll be consequences.
Yeah, the ABUSE, like I did experience that as well. Like, I did experience that if I didn't go to church, or if I didn't put my, like, wasn't active, or I'm not being active enough. Like, obviously now I'm older, or when I was getting older, like a teenager, like 17, like it would stop. But like when you're a kid, it's more easily to manipulate somebody through
I think we should do a second gen group, you know. Guys, I think we should have a like second gen, you know, for second gen survivors, like the younger people. Do you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of younger people like who are really struggling, and they don't, could you imagine, like they don't have no friends.
Yeah,
Can you
it's hard.
imagine 18, 17, like 16, 19, like coming to this realization you're all on your own.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times they're being groomed by their parents, because again, we were brought up in these types of churches by our parents, and they were brought up in these occulted churches by their parents.
Right.
So this is a generational problem.
And it's the second gen thing, because this is the thing, you got your parents that's coming from wherever they're coming from, the Caribbean or Africa, and they're coming to, the way they got brought up is completely different from how we get brought up. So now you're going to come and impose your way of your upbringing onto us, which is illegal, number one. Number two, you know, you're endangering a child. Number three, your child could get taken away, put in a system. Like, it's just, there's too many risks, but it's like they don't care. And that's the scary thing about it. Like,
there was a lot of predators. Like, I experienced as a child in the church, like old men that would try, like this old man particularly would like corner me and try and kiss me. At church, and my parents, instead of stopping me from going to the church, speaking to the man, they would tell me to go hide in the car when I saw him. So that like trained me to start like hiding myself away from like abusive people and trying to avoid them, rather than just literally getting them consequences for their actions. Right. Do you know what I mean? Because why are you kissing a child?
Yeah.
And my parents see it, and they did it with other men as well. Like, this is what I mean. There's a lot of abusive parents that are raising and grooming their children to be in these toxic church environments, and just they are toxic themselves. Yeah, they're enablers.
Yeah, they are enablers. They are. And it's all hush hush, you know. Don't say nothing. If this happens to you, you keep quiet. You don't say much, because that's the kind of mentality they have back home. Like, oh, if this happens to you, don't say nothing, you keep quiet, you don't say nothing. So we obviously in this country, us kids, I would like to say, we're quite bright, and we're quite, you know, we go to school, we're playing, we're talking. So when things like that happen, it's like, you know, and our parents, I feel like, you know, that it's wrong, but you're scared, like, not to talk, you're scared to talk up, because of, you know, you're going to be cheated, like, they're going to look at you like, why did you do that, and be da-da-da-da-da. And then it trains your brain so that when you do go through these things, you don't talk up, or you freeze, or these type of, it's like a cycle.
And the whole time, the problem is them. Like, they make you feel bad for them being a horrible person. Like, it's literally all control, gaslighting. They're trying to change your reality, because they will never admit to whatever they've done. That's another thing as well.
They don't take accountability.
Never get closure.
Delusional.
They do not take accountability.
Especially these boomer parents and these older parents, they never take accountability. Or if they do, it's forced.
Yeah, they don't take accountability.
I think that's where most of our trauma comes from, you know, guys. When we unpack it, that's where it all comes from. It's from the childhood. And that's why we ended up in these church cults. And that's what I think a lot of people are afraid to like be on the lives, like, you know, like engage and because you have to come to certain truths, man.
It's
And it's
true.
about your own mother and father.
You can't live in delusion, because living in delusion is dangerous. That's how you end up in places like that. You have to face the reality. Your parents were the first humans on earth. If they gave you a bad experience, you have trauma, fix it. You have to go unpack it. Otherwise, you're gonna end up in these situations again and again, whether that's your relationship, your job, like your church.
But then I do have compassion as well, because I think, again, like sometimes it's too much pain. There's too much pain to unpack.
But the pain you're going to have in these environments is going to be worse. What I just explained about how these toxic groups, it affects your body. It literally affects your health. You start developing conditions because you're stressed out.
That's what happened to me. Like if I'd stayed in there, I would have unalived. Like I can unpack like the childhood trauma because it's enough. You can unpack, but when you've got the church cult trauma on top of the childhood trauma,
on top, oh my lordy,
because we've been programmed. Remember, respect, honor thy mother and father. We've been programmed to think like that.
But it also says don't provoke your child to anger. And what's more provoking than hitting your child and literally responding in flight, freeze, or fawn, because you're literally putting hands on them, you're harming them. You wouldn't do that to your boss at work, because why? You understand power dynamics. You understand that this person pays my bills. I can't hurt them. But your own child, you feel free to just hit whenever and for whatever, because you know that they're weaker than you, that you know the power dynamics, that they can't complain, they can keep it hush. You're not gonna go to prison. Your boss is gonna call the police.
Yeah, but sometimes we don't. Sometimes the kids don't. Sometimes the kids had enough. You know.
Me, I called the police.
No, do you know what? Like, this is the thing. Sometimes, because I'm not gonna dive too deep in, but like sometimes this you know, sometimes the kid has enough too. Sometimes the kid has enough, you know, because we also forced. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
I just want to quickly jump in and say that if there is anyone that's experiencing ABUSE in the home, especially, I don't care what age you are, if your parent is putting their hands on you, that is ABUSE. And if you do find yourself in an ABUSE environment, there are laws to protect you, and you can present yourself to your local authority, and you can present yourself as like, you know, being a DV case. And if anybody wants any further information or guidance on how to take those steps, you can message me after.
There are organizations out there. Like I said, I joined the Daddyless Daughters project CIC. There are organizations out there that do help young girls, and there are organizations out there that most likely help young men as well with these type of situations in the homes. You know, there are some safe spaces out there where you can discuss these things and start your healing process, or just to, you know, project groups where you can just express yourself in a safe way, because a lot of these things, a lot of the time when you go through ABUSE, you can't express yourself. You're stuck. It's like if you do, it's horrible.
If you're a student as well, like if you're a strange, your uni will give you money. Like I get like 3K for just being estranged. So like every uni should have some sort of like financial provisions for people who don't speak to their family anymore, or one of their family members, or you have problems, or you've gone to care or whatever. So there should always be financial stuff to help you like leave, because that money should be for like no contact, so you don't have to rely on them. Because how these like horrible people, toxic people get you is that they get you dependent on them, whether that's through money, schmecks, attention. They give you something that keeps you coming back, whether that's community in these like church environments and feeling seen, like maybe you're in the choir or you're an usher and the pastor likes you, or this. So there's something that they offer you that resonates with maybe a wound, an inner child wound of maybe not being seen or not being loved or not being cared for.
Spiritual daddies.
There are like, and for the care leavers, because I'm also a care leaver, and for the care leavers as well, like if there are people listening, like there are safe spaces, there are organizations that understand, like, you're not alone at the end of the day, like you're not alone. And I would personally advise, a lot of us care leavers, like or people who are vulnerable, we do tend to go to churches because we feel like, Jesus can save us, and that might be a fact too, but like, be open-minded and don't think that, there's only like one way to it. There's different ways that you can start your healing journey. There's project groups that can help you alongside your healing.
Someone asked the question, any tips on how to manage it, babe?
I feel like for me personally, how I think it should be, I think creatives is good, like writing, artwork, and I also think talking about it as well, like on a grand scheme of things, trying to talk about your stuff and what you've gone through is good. I think the first step, though, I think is, for me personally, I think the first step is gym, like being active, like getting out and being active, because I feel like you tend to think self-isolate and cram yourself into this box. Like getting out, nature, going for walks and stuff like that is important, like eating healthy and stuff like that. I think that's the first thing we can do physically to help ourselves. And then and then for me also is creative stuff, like writing. I write a lot.
Guys, I'm coming back. Just keep talking, yeah? I'm coming back.
All right, Leo. Yeah, writing a lot. I write a lot of stuff. That helps me. And reading as well. Reading books like Detoxing the Mind, reading about trauma books, trauma-informed books, things like that. Studying the psychology of like how our brain works when it comes to trauma. Those things are very important, because you will start to understand that it's not just you personally, it's our mind. When we get subjected or put into places like that are traumatic, our brain ends up acting a certain way for our survival. So I think being aware of that is important as well. So reading a lot of books helps as well.
That was such a good point. Reading a lot of books and being aware of even other people as well, and how these cult groups work. Because I said before, they're like an abusive relationship. All these narcissistic groups, cults, relationships, friends act in similar ways. In the recruitment, there's always that love bombing. There's always that they're giving you attention, or they're inviting you to something, and when you go there, at first it will feel amazing, but it's all a facade. And then you will have the stages where they want you to be pitted against other people. They want to control you. And then you either wake up and realize what's going on and you leave, and then they pull you back in again with the love bombing. And then it's like a cycle again and again, and they get these people who are in the cult to come and reach out to you and pull you back, and they're called flying monkeys, which is a narcissistic technique. So learning about narcissism is really important, and high control groups, but also learning about your own spirituality, because that's another part that is spoken about, the other people, the other cult, the group, the church. But what about yourself and your connection with God? Because that gets damaged. When you go to these places, they make you think that God is this, like your parents, this authoritative, abusive figure. Sorry, TikTok. And this God that will punish you for doing anything wrong, when God is just someone who's looking out for you. Again, even parents and fathers, when the first form of patriarchal control is, when your dad's around, make sure you cover up. When we're having male guests, make sure you cover up. Or your dad is even telling you to wear this, and you can't wear this, boys are gonna look at you, you can't wear makeup, you get hit for wearing makeup. So things like that is your first kind of way that your God is portrayed, especially when you're brought into a family that is like going to these churches who also share the same beliefs and show the same behaviors to you that mirror how your parents or the people around you growing up treated you. And that could be for any religion, any relationship, any sort of dynamic in your life. It's like every situation is a stimulation, is a chance for you to solve that pattern and break the cycle. And learning why that cycle was there is important. Your parents were the first humans on this earth that you encountered. Everything you learned is from them. You learn how to speak from them. Do you get what I mean? Before you had teachers, before you had teachers, you had your parents. But yeah, repairing your relationship with God, your relationship with self, your perspective on schmecks, on love, on money, on everything, like. But then also, I would say the transmutation. What she mentioned, Becca mentioned about writing music and stuff like that. That was situation, yeah, with the call, and I had an abusive relationship. I was raped. The church pastor told me that I wouldn't find a
Sorry to hear
husband.
that as well.
It's okay. The church pastor told me I wouldn't find a husband because I wouldn't be able to trust men anymore. And I'm thinking, bitch, I just told you about this situation and you're talking about husband. I didn't even know if I wanted to be on this planet. And it was just a situation that got me so angry. But I got on the mic, I got on the stage, and I read my poem. I didn't give a heck. Me, I'm a wild woman. You can't tame me.
Yeah. Naturally.
You can't tame me. I'm gonna say what the hell I want to say, and I'm gonna talk about these predatory men and of God that be hurting women. And then a woman in the who was there told me that she's been hurt as well in that same way, and the church has not been supportive.
It gives room for other women to speak up.
The same thing I keep hearing.
Do you know what I mean? And then that made me do my PhD to help Black Christian women in these situations. And then now I'm creating an app of it. I made the documentary with Amazon Prime, Warner. It's been in Atlanta. Wow. It's been in Atlanta, Chicago, Cinema, Ireland. I flew to watch it. But also, I'm going to be doing more documentaries and more charity work for Black Christian women, trying to funnel money back into our communities.
I'm a Black Christian woman. I need your
help. Exactly. We're all Black Christian women.
Nobody confessional says, but I still believe in Christ. I'm a Black Christian woman. I want to invest. Can I have it?
Take it.
I'm a Black Christian woman right here. I need help.
Leo. One Leo, you know, one Leo.
I'm a Black African Christian woman. I want help. Look at what Esther's saying. Imagine if you didn't read it out, the poem.
God,
that's what I'm saying.
Good, but this is what you mean. I had an intuition as ladies. Yeah, let me put you guys on games. We have crazy spiritual intuition. There's a reason why we make up most of the labor in the church statistically. And we don't get the leadership positions, but we're the one actually doing the spiritual work, because women are more inclined spiritually to protect ourselves. Yeah. We have like a faster brain processing speed to notice things like emotions and micro expressions, because we had to protect ourselves against men since the beginning of time. Yet men have like physical strength. We have spiritual and like emotional intelligence and strength. Because people only think it's only physical when there's different types. And even when you have dreams or you know your man's cheating on you before he actually is, it's because you can read patterns. You know what he normally, but then psychologically, you know what he normally texts, like what tone, what time, you know certain things that are out of place because your body can clock the missing clues and put them together. Because your brain processes these things in a certain way, because we have to raise children. So our emotional capabilities has to be on a different level because we're literally growing a child. So there's all these things that make women like more spiritually inclined. We're the divine feminine. Woo! Can we just please we bring creation in our wombs. Jesus Christ came through a womb. That's the real Bible they don't preach. Are you silly?
They don't
Are
want
you
to preach it
silly?
at all. They don't want to preach it.
They don't really talk that much about women in the Bible,
Do you know
but
it says
God does. I know from my own personal relationship that He favors us. Yeah, and He does. I think He does favor the fatherless as well, the ones who don't have the parents. I feel like God says in the Bible He is close to the brokenhearted.
broken hearted?
So the ones that feel like, you
Mother
know,
to the
they're
fatherless.
empty, you know, yes, the ones that feel like they're empty, they're alone, like, you know, God is there. I believe He is there. I
Yeah,
choose to
when your
believe He is
mother
there.
and father forsake you, like He will never leave you. I think that's in the Bible
Yeah.
verse.
Oh, that's so
So
fucking
I choose to
Yeah.
believe that. And it is a feminine force. 100% there is a feminine force.
Because you know what my argument is? How come it's Father, God, Jesus, Son, and then the Holy Spirit is still a he or genderless? Like where, like you can find masculine and feminine balance in everything, in the sun, the moon, in nature, in the universe, in creation, in plants, in the animal kingdom. So why
I
is
think
it?
there is I think there is a feminine energy that is spoken about in the Bible. What I think is male patriarchy has
Yes,
twisted it up and made it into something that it's
yes.
not. But I think that from what I can sense from the Bible, I feel like there is like a
But it's
feminine, there's
always
Yeah,
a
because
feminine
guys,
movement.
in Songs of Solomon, I write about in my PhD, it says I am black and beautiful. There's a verse by a black woman. Yes, they don't talk about this. These are the things they don't talk about.
wow.
What the Ethiopian version of the Bible was made 1,000 years before the
That is
King James version.
isn't that not the first? Those are the first scriptures. I think the first.
One of the first early churches was Ethiopian.
Yeah, and I
These are
think the first Bible was like I think one of the first Bibles was made in Ethiopia, or because there's something to do with like the paper and something that it was
yeah,
like based in
yeah.
Ethiopia or
And
something.
guess what, guys? Ethiopia is the only like African country that's like the black African country that's not been colonized.
Yeah, I've heard about that too.
Interesting. I don't believe in I don't believe in luck. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in patterns. And like that shows exactly that there is a feminine touch in the Bible. Jesus was around a lot of women. The first people to see him when he was resurrected in the Bible was women. When people were calling that woman a schmo, like he was the one that saved her from being unalived that day, because back then they unalived women for that. Like that was radical. He put his life on the line because they were a mob.
They don't focus on that. They're more interested in selling invisible blessings, babe.
Yeah, sorry, I think I cut out there.
Are you guys here?
Yeah, because like in Jesus's lineage,
Can you
because
guys
deep
hear
in
me?
the whole Bible, I can hear you. The whole Bible from the Old Testament to the New Testament is a description of Jesus's lineage. That's when you see in the Old Testament, oh, this person begot this person, begot this person, and Jesus's lineage to get to him, like the King Davids, the Ruths, the Queen Esther's, is a mix of men and women. So why is it only men that are leaders in the church? And people always bring up Paul, but this is why education is important. Paul was writing epistles, right? Epistles means letters. Again, the Bible was not originally written in English. The disciples' names are not Peter, John, and Paul. I have to reiterate it because a lot of people will be like, oh, it's Eurocentric. Their names are Peter, John, Simon, and all of that. It's a translation.
It's a translation, yeah.
It's a translation. Yeah. The Ethiopian version of the Bible, again, is 1,000 years before the English version of the Bible. This is the version the white people have sold. And this is the things that I deconstruct in my PhD because education is very important.
And years ago, before, like especially in the United Kingdom, like in Britain, like the commoners, they couldn't even read the Bible. It was only for the priests and the bishops and stuff. They were the only people who could actually read from the Bible, because before it was like the commoners or people like who would just have to listen to what the priest said, instead of actually having their own Bible and doing their own research or have their own relationship. It was mostly to do with whatever the priest said.
women couldn't read, so by proxy, because of the society that was there, they couldn't even read the Bible. But Paul was talking to a specific church. There's also a church he wrote a letter to that one of the sons was banging his mom. Is that in every church? So do you see why it's like specific context? It's like if you read the text in any context, you could say it's anything that's going on. Do you know what I mean? Then that's the nuance that they're not going to teach, because they don't want to educate you on what the Bible really is. Like, that's why the only person who's at stake, your livelihood, your money, your time is at stake is you. So you have to take the precautions when you enter a place of worship to make sure that it's going to be safe for your spiritual journey, your financial journey, your whole life, because you are putting your trust in these people, and a lot of the times they are abusing it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Wow.
Well, how long have we been on there for? For like 3 hours?
God. I was just holding the space because I was like, I feel like there's like this outpouring, because no, we've been holding in so much and we haven't had a live with survivors on. So this has just been absolutely amazing, guys, honestly. And
it's the Holy Spirit, honestly.
Yes. There's liberty, there's unity, and it's really about
where two or three are gathered.
Yeah, there's joy, there's harmony, there's all of that, the peace, like I'm sure a lot, and I'm not sure, I'm confident that there are survivors on this live who have benefited so much from the wisdom and the knowledge and you guys' openness and vulnerability. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, because remember, guys, it's that people will be, well, it says saved. I don't want to trigger people, but it's through the blood of the Lamb and the power of the testimony. So that's why I'm so passionate about silences, compliance, and people speaking their truth. Because for those of you that are still very much in the Christian faith and believe in Christ, that is the spirit of Christ. Christ was never silent. You know what I mean? Like, he was always out, like, triggering.
He hated injustice. Yeah. I understand if you might not disagree with certain parts of the Bible, but I just follow Christ's life because I just love his life. And he just hated injustice. And I think that's all it's about.
That's what resonates with me. That's why I was like, I don't want to let Jesus go. I can't let him go. It was grieving me, because I felt like leaving the church cult meant that I would leave Christ, because that's how they programmed me. And I grieved. I grieved for so long. I was so confused because I was angry at the men, and I didn't want it to turn into hate.
I resonate with that.
Yeah, and then just leave the faith. And I'm not judging people who do, because you have to do what resonates and what's best for you. Because, bitch, if you've got 2 kids at home and you need to be atheist and just remove yourself completely for your sanity and to raise your kids, you do what you gotta do. Do you understand? Because it's a fight for survival. And that's why I say LGBTQ plus whatever, tick, come along. If you are a unicorn, if you're this, I don't care. Because everyone's journey is different after. And if you haven't walked a mile in that person's shoes, you can't talk on it. You can't talk on it. And Jesus Christ did not go around and judge people. It was through love. It was through compassion. It was through kindness. That is control. That's how we won people over. Through love. Through the character, the consciousness that Christ had, the mindset. That's a wise man wins a soul.
He constantly sacrificed himself for others, because people always talk about the sacrifice on the cross, but I just explained that woman was about to be unalived and he stopped everybody. They could have had a mob on him. Do you know all of the disciples had a horrible ending? But Jesus constantly sacrificed himself, and it's like, even if you don't agree with any other parts, just follow his story and you can take a lot from it. Sometimes there's things you don't agree with, there's things of other faiths that I don't agree with, but I take it as a valuable, because I'm like, okay, wow, like that's an inspirational thing that I can add into my life to improve it, as long as it's helping to improve my life. But that's the thing, you're autonomous in your spiritual journey. And because of we all have phones now, and because of COVID, we started going online and listening to other people that we don't have to go to just because they're on our street, or just because our parents born us into this church. Now we have to just stay there. So because that now's opened up, I've seen so many creators online, like American ones, different countries, that I've resonated with way more, that are women. That are women. because there's like there's a silencing and stifling of the female voice in the church that's demonic. The divine feminine
That's
is being
what's missing.
stifled.
That's what's missing, and you can't. I don't think you can have the Holy Spirit there if you don't have like women that are in tune. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
The inner self, because that's the one thing my cult leader, because it's not everything that they're lying about. He did say that's why he said that women move with feelings, emotions, intuition, and we need to like be disconnected from that, because that's
It's
how
biological. No, but that's a biological survival mechanism. You see how horrible these toxic these people are. They want to disconnect you from everything that's innate to us. That's why they want us to stop wearing makeup or wearing certain dresses, because beauty is innate. It's femininity. But they know that it's also a currency, it's power. Beauty gives you opportunities. Beauty gives you maybe a good partner that's like higher earning. And a lot of them aren't. They're dusties. They spend all their time sucking up pastors' asshole.
And if the women in the churches believed, because you know when you look at these women, you can see how they are. Like they're a bit docile. No offense, but I feel like they have this type of docile way of thinking. But if it wasn't like that, and we did understand the currency of beauty and stuff like that, we would be very powerful and very. But I don't think that's a bad thing for the man. I think that's a good thing, because we're meant to complement. We're meant to complement the man. But instead, it's been looked at as, you know, that's not how we should be. That's not how we should be. That's not. There's like a negative.
Look, guys, look at every single first lady. I'm gonna add them to my case study after this live. This made me think about it.
Oh, please, I want my cult leaders. I can give you, babe. I can just text you everything. I got everything ready to send.
In my experience, it's either they're narcissistic themselves and they mirror their narcissistic pastor husband, or they've been severely groomed and beaten down to the point where they're docile and they're hardly even there, or they end up leaving and they absolutely hate it.
Yeah, and they become bitter.
What about the enablers, man? The women that are EVIL? Because look at V to V and Pastor Douglas' wife that kept the church running.
They're narcissistic as well.
He's in prison for SA, and the wife is still there, pastor in the church cult.
They're narcissistic. I even love to say Erica Kirk and Charlie Kirk. Sorry.
Oh, wow.
That's a narcissistic woman mirroring a narcissistic man, and they're both cosplaying as Christians, and the Christian black community was calling them martyrs, but their own black community don't even have money to put on lights for a lot of people, for their kids. They haven't even helped the friends in their community, but they want to be posting about Charlie Kirk.
What I'm saying is, how do the Christians explain that when Nicki Minaj is sitting with Erica Kirk?
Bruh, that interview was crazy. That shit was crazy.
I've heard a lot of things about that though, like he's, you know, the homosexuals and the things about Charlie being a homosexual and these type of things as well.
She didn't like him. I'm sorry. She's acting like nothing happened. In fact, she's never been this vocal in public before. Now she's doing interviews. Imagine. This makes me think that he was keeping her silenced in the house with the kids because of the type of man he is. He's a conservative man.
Yeah, there's been a whole thing about that, how Charlie Kirk used to kind of abuse his sons, because I think one of his sons was no, I know for a fact one of his sons are bisexual. He used to kind of abuse and and if you I don't know if you've watched Greenfield. Have you watched Greenfield before? Or Greenleaf?
Yes.
Greenfield.
It's the same.
Where's Greenfield?
Where
do you find them?
It's the same type of thing where not Greenleaf. Sorry.
Even
Beauty and Black.
Jigs.
Beauty and Black, you know, when the father was actually a homosexual, and then he used to attack his son it's the same type of thing that's going on within the churches as well.
Even TD Jakes and the same thing. He has allegations against them touching children. His
Yeah.
son's actually gone to prison, I think, for actually getting convicted for it. So there's a trail, and then him hanging around and being best friends with Diddy and Diddy learning
Yeah, it
from
makes
him
sense.
is a complete red flag. So there's a lot of a cult. You see how like Pastor Toby's with all these celebrity. There's a cultic level and a spiritual dark kind of the magic going on. These people are high in society, whether we like him or not. Pastor Toby is high in society to be with all these like a socialite. And all these mega church pastors, people are making them rich because they're enchanted. They're literally enchanted. They're giving them their paychecks, opening up their wallet because they're literally telling them what they want to hear. Again, the Bible says itching ears. You know, sometimes you stay with a man, he tells you what you want to hear. He tells you, I love you, babe. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to cheat on you. I didn't mean to do that. Your friend is like, nah, I didn't mean it like that. I wouldn't do that to you. Your parents, nah, like, you know, I'm your mom. I would never, I love you. So you see what I mean? People tell you what you want to hear. So you have to decipher their actions from their words.
You're so wise. You lot are so wise, man.
Discernment, isn't it? It's discernment. Discernment, yeah.
You lot are so wise. Ciao. Is there anything more that you guys have to say that's pressing on your heart? Because I want to make sure, like, you guys have like disclosed a lot. You've been very vulnerable and open. So I don't just want to kind of like look off the live, because I need to. There's been a survivor that's called me twice, but I was like, no, I need to hold the space here, and then I'll call her back after. But is there anything more that you wanted to share, or?
I think we should do like on the lives, maybe like a day for survivors to come up and talk.
Yeah, I need to make it clear. I need to make it clear. So we'll do. Shall we do like Survivor Thursdays?
Yeah.
Survivor Thursdays. Yeah, we'll do like. Shall we do like 7 p.m? Because even if I'm not in a place to speak or whatever, that's for survivors to come on. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just there, like how I've been holding it. I think that's.
Or you could even do like maybe because it might intimidate some people, like it being survivors. Maybe just have like a topic, this panel discussion, because then people who are survivors will naturally be drawn to share their experience.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do that.
But I think the moderator's got to be on their A game with that one, because people are going to want to come up and then the next few minutes.
Can you do that, Becca?
Yeah, I can be a moderator.
Okay, brilliant. And PhDK, if you did as well, just let me know. But I don't know. I know you've got a lot of things going on, but like Becca, but I know you're this documentary and feces and stuff. But if you are, I'd love you lot to come on and mod, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I love having these combos.
Yes, worked really well, and I don't think it's like a pressure. I think it's like a healing space. So if you guys are happy to come on, do you know what I mean, and lead that, and I'm really happy with that, because I can't do everything. Do you know what I mean? It needs to start, you know. And I love this. This is great. This is what we couldn't do in the cult. Becca, could you ever come and say, "Oh, I think that"?
No, yeah, I know.
Can't. So this is beautiful. This is part of our.
It even takes a lot of strength to do that now.
Yeah.
And I feel like any Black Christian women who's hearing this, like, honestly, there's life after leaving your church, or any Christian woman, Christian man. There's life after leaving your parents. There's life after leaving that man. There's life after leaving that girl. Like, the fact that you're breathing, you still got life and you still got dreams and hopes that you're going to get to. You just have to pick yourself every single time. Like, that's the hard part.
And, you know, you don't ever feel like, you know, you can't have a relationship with God, or God doesn't see you, or God doesn't love you, or anything of the sort, because you're not part of a church, or you're not part of a community, or whatever. He understands the little that you do. Faith of a mustard seed, Jesus said, you know.
And God is for you. So when you choose yourself, you choose God, because God has your best interests for you. Honestly.
Yeah. Even if you read a scripture, or, you know, you pray to him, even if it's 2 words, 3 words, he still hears you, you know. Don't ever feel like he doesn't. And I know sometimes, because I suffer with this as well, sometimes I feel like I've gone through so much, that like he's not there or he doesn't listen, but I choose to believe, and I'll still do my little research, and I'll still do my little things here and there to like you know, just build my faith up, you know. I'm not going to church at the moment, and I know, you know, in the Bible it does talk about, you know, being with other brothers and sisters and stuff, but at the moment I just can't place myself in that
You are. This is church.
Yeah.
Right
This
now,
is church.
Yeah.
When 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, I am there. And in justice is in his name. This is what they don't preach. They think it's Sunday service. Babe, God cannot be contained to your Sunday service with your mediocre singers.
No, because now when
You're
Leah
not
does a
true.
little, when Leah says, yeah, Leah can sing. And it's true. A lot of us are talented and we have so much to give.
Literally, but we create those spaces outside of that, and the digital is helping us do that.
Yes, yes. And that's what they HATE, because you know information control's a huge thing in there, isn't it? So because we're creating our own spaces and speaking our truth, and you know, it's our own information we're putting out there, that's what they can't stand.
And money control as well. Women having their own ministries, women having their own spaces to heal takes money away from these pastors.
Yeah.
Who rely on women's money and labor to carry on hurting them in these churches and abusing their power. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
Like when I was doing my PhD, they were like, my examiners were like, there's so many dimensions to this. It's gonna be a struggle to even like, do you mean there's too much to even put into a PhD? Do you know how bad it is?
I can imagine, because it's just so wide, isn't it? And it's like trying to generalize it, and
there's so many different levels. And then when you start talking about pregnancy and bringing children into it, and then marriage, it opens a completely different kind of worms.
And then different theories and attachment, and yeah, oh God, yeah. Because it's literally like you're looking for one question, aren't you? And then, you know, like the themes, but it's so hard because it leads to...
And then there's race, and then gender, then there's migration as well. Because again, like we said, these Nigerian churches, there's deeper life. A lot of them are from Nigeria, and then they brought over some pastors from Nigeria who are crooks and criminals, and they carry on doing their criminal crap in the UK. That's what Pastor Toby did.
Yeah, I was going to say criminology as well. You could even bring into it. To understand why they do the things that they do. Yeah, because they're thieves, they essay, they do the most. But the biggest one for me is like the FRAUD, the money laundering. Like that's the one. Criminality. Like we need to get into the mind of an organized, organized. What is it? Criminal organization.
And a high control group at the same time, because they've also got that spiritual abuse to get you to give offering away because you're going to be blessed, or God is going to double you, double, now double. It's in conditioning. It's conditioning.
Everything go double.
They're reverting us.
Yeah, their houses, the amount of houses they have are going to double, but yours are going to be lowering. And this is the energy siphoning that I've been talking about. This is the siphoning of energy, sources, time, money, even your belief. You're putting everything in them, your hope. You're altering your life decisions. My parents altered their life decisions based on what the pastor said. Yeah. And then the same people that are cheating with everybody with a skirt in the choir.
It's bad. And I think in the community as general, because we got as in general, just before we go, like if you're like a black person in the community and you have like a job in society where, you know, you're maybe working in mental health, or you're this or you're that, let's not be quick to say go to church, because I feel like that happens a lot, especially in the society, because we kind of overstep boundaries. You'll have a job where you're not meant to, like teachers and stuff. Let's not be quick to say go to church and find Jesus. Like that's the be all or end all of your healing, because it's not. That's just one tiny little bit. You know, finding God is like not tiny, but finding God should be something between you and God, you know.
Yeah, finding God
It
is
shouldn't
finding
be.
yourself.
Yeah, like I don't like the stigma. Like I've had a lot of people in places higher up, like, you know, you need to go to church, you need to be in church. This is this. Church is gonna help you heal, and church is gonna help you get through this, and da 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 da. Like church is not the be all and end all. Like, please,
I've had
let's stop.
pastors tell me to stop taking therapy and
Of
medication
course,
for my
yeah.
mental health stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is dangerous now. And they do it to my mom because she's disabled. Like, they'll like isolate you, trying to perform miracles on you and stuff like that. And it's like a legit health condition that's not going to go away. And it's like, you're embarrassing the person. You're telling them to stop taking medication. Some people have been unalived because they actually listen. Thank God I don't listen to crap like that. Me, I know my problems and I know what to fix and I know what I need to do to fix them, and I will. And through help, I ended up not even having that diagnosis anymore. I'm not UPD anymore. They said you don't fit the criteria for it anymore or any of the symptoms
Hold
anymore.
on.
Thank you. So these things are you can work through it. People they tell you about PTSD and we over talk about that, but they don't talk about post-traumatic growth, which is also something that's very much possible for people, especially people who've been estranged. You built a different type of resilience without your parents, like to be able to build and stand on your own. So you build skills that help you make more money, more opportunities. You tend to be more confident, more decisive. You can spot bullshit a mile away because you grew up with bullshit. You can cut off people because you cut off the people who birthed you who were toxic. So some of these things that actually can seem bad, you can transmute them. So basically, transmutation is turning your like pains into progress. That's what I did for my documentary with Amazon Prime. That's what I did for my poetry, which landed me the documentary. The same poetry I read at church, and they tried to take my mic away and told me I'll never get married because I was raped, is the same poetry that landed me in cinemas across the world. Like, it was crazy. God will always use the experiences that they try to humble and break you. He will put a table in front of your enemies, and he'll put main course, side course, dessert, everything. All my survivors, for the people, the churches, the pastors, the leaders, the spiritual mothers, the spiritual fathers that lied to you, broke you, made you stay in abusive, toxic marriages, a toxic relationship, toxic friendships, made you compete with other people in the church, made you control what you wore, control who you spoke to, control how you felt about yourself. Like, all these things, there's life after it, and there is post-traumatic growth. There's a way for you to transform this into something that can help other women or help other survivors, or it can even help you make money and reclaim some of the time, some of the offering money that you've been given to these people over the time. Like some of the shifts that you cancelled on a Sunday because you wanted to go to church and be a good, like, a person. Some of these things, yeah, like is deep. Yeah, let me just.
No, you know what, guys? Everything that you're saying just resonates, and I know it's resonating to survivors, and I know it's hard because this space, we have to be so vulnerable, and it's like, as you're even talking, I think it's like the realization of it. Because, guys, we were robbed in every way, financially, mentally. But like, as you're saying, you've taught me something new, PhDK, today, which is this post-traumatic growth. And I've just been thinking post-traumatic stress disorder. It's a disorder. And you've given me a new term to start to see this as, well, I'm growing. This is growth, moving forward from the trauma, and I can transmute that pain into power, that pain into purpose, that trauma into testimony. And that, and both of you being so open and sharing your wisdom and the depths of your, you know, your in the inner well of your soul and very heart. You know, I haven't taken it lightly, and I don't think the survivors have. There've been loads of follows, a lot of love, and I just want to say thank you so much for opening your heart and, you know, being comfortable.
Thank you for the
Leah,
space.
you are a constant transmuter. Same with you, Becca. You're a constant transmuter. When you said, Becca, you write the poetry from what you've experienced. Leah, the whole movement, everyone knows your name. Everyone I speak to, when I start speaking about my PhD, they're like, you need to speak to Leah. You're known across the UK as a woman that exposes these cults and these people that are
You don't
abusing the
get enough credit.
community.
You don't get enough credit, Leah.
Oh, babe, it's okay. Like, you do everything in your power to help other women who've been through this, other men who've been through this, other children in the community. You dedicated a lot of your time. You don't have to. You don't have to.
Yeah.
But we see it, other people see it, and you're raising awareness. A lot of people know not to go to these places because of you. Do you know how many people you saved from being raped? Let's be real. Let's be real. Since we want to really talk about these places, do you know how many people you save from being in a crap marriage where their husband's cheating on them and hitting them and they're stuck with
Even
their
if they're
child?
scrolling past, they're gonna have some type of awareness that, okay, I need to be careful before I enter these type of spaces. You know, there's like you've created an awareness for people to even speak out as well. Like, you're a very commendable person, Leah. Like,
I spoke out because of you. Like, I've never publicly talked about Potter's House because of you, like, it actually gave me the strength to talk about it. And like, because I did, other survivors have now come to me and helped that, and obviously do my PhD as well. Like, you're one of their inspirations. So thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for your kind, beautiful words. Like, this is what keeps me going. The words of survivors keep me going, and I'm just so grateful to have like you guys on board and a part of this.
You're making me cry as well.
you're such a strong woman, Leah. You are.
Literally.
Like, I was in there for so long, and I feel every word. I feel every word that people type or say. Like, I feel it all and I hear it all, and especially like to the second genders, like being a mum. You know, I'm like, I really want to dedicate my life to this because there are so many, like, you know, younger people and kids, I think, that are going to come forward that haven't had like that mother's love. And, you know, that's just how I feel. And every time that you guys come on and I hear you speak, it validates it and it reaffirms it for me. And I just want to say, guys, like, seriously, I've learned so much, and I'm just, it is an honor to like be a part of this, and, you know, because it keeps me going. Do you know what I mean? Like I've got my own stuff as well, but, you know, guys, I'm disabled. Like, I can't really like travel and have a normal life and things like that, and it's like, the collective really does keep me going, and it keeps that hope. Like, it keeps the hope alive for me, like, that we will get justice. And
Survivor. Like, that word is not just a word. It's an actual, you're a survivor. You transmuted all that shit. You're meant to be in a psych ward. You're meant to be unalived yourself.
Yeah.
From everything. Yeah, you're here.
It takes one thing.
Raising awareness.
One thing, Leah. It could take one thing for somebody to snap. One thing. But you've been through multiple things, and you're still here. You're getting up, doing what you do.
Yeah, and not only are you still here, but you've raised a nationwide campaign. Deep yourself. Stop for a minute. Nationwide campaign.
Yeah.
We as a collective, we did that. Because if I didn't have people like you coming on here, like Survivor supporting all that work you're doing with your PhD in your space, like, it's just collective effort. Like, we are one. Like, I just really want people to know, like, guys, like, this is my whole heart and life. Like, I live, eat and breathe this. And I just feel really grateful for the support, because I really have been through a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like, we all have.
We feel you.
We're gonna come out on top, guys. We're gonna get justice. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna
We
be
have the
okay
best.
because we've got each other. We're gonna be okay, guys.
We've got our community. We're funding money into our community. We're pouring time and energy into other
Yeah,
women just like us because we are with the church. You don't need to find a church. You make the church.
I
And
agree.
and this is part of the church, the healing experiences, the grounding, the therapy. Like that's part of it. Like us just coming together and we all coming for justice. That is Jesus. Like they're saying Jesus is sat on a pulpit. Where has pulpit ever been mentioned in a church in the Bible? These are part of the things that I unpack in my PhD. That's man-made. When in the Bible does it say the pastor stands in front of the congregation and you all sit down and you're lower than him and he shouts at you and tells you what to do? This is all part of the programming.
Definitely. 100%. Wow.
The early church wasn't like this. The early church was in people's houses. People didn't have like, oh, you give offerings, that's money. If you're, for example, a farmer, you would bring food for the community. Like if you like sewed clothes, maybe there's someone who didn't have money, you would make them like do you know what I mean? An outfit. So these are the things that people were doing, like using their skills to help other people in their community. But because of capitalism, it's now turned into, as a pastor, I need to pay rent. I need to put like the heating on and all of that. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to get as much money to pay the rent. And then it turns into do more and more and to get more and more money to keep the business afloat and make more and more profit. Whereas it never used to be like that. It was in people's houses. It was situations like this, literal friends, people, communities, mutuals, women, men that have gone through similar experiences meeting up and sharing their gifts and their talents and their careers with each other. So like it's been completely warped by money, and the Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil, including like how Christianity has been warped. Even how slavery and the Bible was used against Black people was because of money. Because they took out Exodus, where it talks about liberating the people from Egypt, because the white people were acting like Babylon.
They are.
So the Bible is constantly being twisted, and I just advocate for survivors also who still believe in it to unpack the Bible for themselves, because a lot of it has been twisted by capitalism, by patriarchy, by racism. So you actually have to go and see it for yourself, because when people say, oh, you need to know the Bible for yourself, they're not joking. Look at our society. Everything you have to investigate by yourself, because everything is mostly an illusion. Even the things they put in your food, you don't even really know. There's been scandals where it's been found out they've had horse meat, was it in Tesco in the UK?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember that, and that's been evidenced. So this isn't an exaggeration. This world is wicked. It's a cruel world. So yeah,
There's a scripture that says the whole of the world is lying in the power of the wicked one. And I don't think people know that. A lot. They don't understand the times that we are living in and how dark it is. We are in like a serious spiritual darkness right now. We're in war. There's been a spiritual war, if you believe in the Bible, if you look into it. Like the times that we are living in are quite dark. But God's spirit is still among us, and still he's still with his people, you know. So, you know, but it will get to a point where his wrath, he will get tired of the bad stuff, the deceivers, you know. And it's, like I said, it's the church that's gonna first go through. The church is
that's what they do.
the first place where God's gonna come and bring his wrath, because he knows that's where the deceiving and everything has been taking place. He knows that they've been misleading people. Right? Instead of them making them draw closer, he's been putting wall between them. He knows. God knows.
That's what he's doing already. He's clearing them out. Look at TD Jakes, look at Tomi Aromi and Toby Aromi. Look at all these pastors. Even Pastor Toby he's meant to be getting deported. Like there has been
meant to be getting deported. This man's overstayed his stay for how long? They said he overstayed his stay and all of these things.
Yeah, literally, that's going to be happening in 2026. Trust me.
Yeah, but you are making an impact. Other survivors, that what I'm trying to get a point across is we are making impacts. Our stories are being heard, and there is a ripple effect, and people are scared.
Yeah,
the narcissist, the devil is scared of the God, because the truth you can't fabricate the truth. And when these women are coming up with receipts of texts of how these married men were like preying on them when they were like children, and they can't defend themselves, they have pictures with these men, Tomi and Toby.
There's so much. Not just Tomi and Toby. There's bad. I got
bad. And it's been going on in the Vatican. It's not just in the BLK community. This is taking place in the Vatican with the priesthoods, the boys who go to preschool.
You see, people who are black and Catholic.
It's a worldwide thing.
People who are black and Catholic confuse me, because do you think there'll ever be a black pope? Please, can you answer me? Has there ever been?
There actually has been actually.
A black pope.
Yeah, they've found a black pope somewhere.
When? Wait, this year?
I can't remember. Yeah, it was this year. This year or 2024, that there's been like a black priest or a black pope or something, and there's loads of black bishops, loads.
I don't think it's for black people, because the history of it, and especially for black women, because
it's not there.
It's for men.
I don't want to even use that word. But COON, that's what I think. I think they are brainwashed. Some of them. I don't think they understand the Vatican and how evil that thing is.
Their connection. No. I know. But it's just the connections in it. Do you know how we're talking about like? SPAC Nation has these connections with celebrities, TD Jakes. You see all these mega, even Hillsong, if we go to the white section, because it's not just the black community, this is a pattern. And we look at Hillsong, the one that was always with Justin Bieber, and he got exposed for preying on women. Yeah. Carl Lentz, yeah, exactly. These powerful people are always in contact with high, powerful, wealthy people in society, that are celebrities or royals or etc. I'm always very cautious of anyone that is around them, because the Bible talks about the princes and principalities that are the rulers of this world, and the leaders in the dark places and stuff like that. And we can see that with the Epstein photos that have been leaked recently, and Prince Andrew constantly being around Epstein, all these powerful people. Bro, this world is dark.
They're not bigger than they think they're bigger than the program, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to evoke. They are opening portals. It gets deep, because I really look into this stuff, but they're opening portals into the atmosphere to summon up like fallen angels energy. That's what they're trying to
unleash it.
To unleash it, and what it's doing, and it's everywhere. You know, it's in the higher places and stuff. That's what they're doing for control.
And you know what? I wanted to demystify demonology, because for me, I think people like Hollywood paints demons to be some like spider that's crawling up your wall and it's talking to you in your sleep, and that's just like getting you to desensitize what it really is. What it is these pastors raping kids. That's really what the demonic shit is. Yeah, like it's
the energy that they've summoned up for their own way of control and power. That is what they're doing.
It's these pastors' energy siphoning by taking all your money, so you can't have money to feed your family. You can't have money to feed yourself, but they have a G-Wagon. That's witchcraft. That's demonic. That's energy siphoning.
100%.
Oh wow, they're telling you what to do, and then they themselves, they're on some demonic-ish, targeting children and girls, sometimes even boys.
Yep.
It's so bad, and it's happening everywhere.
But I think we should wrap this up here though, because
Yes, chat. We'll have
Yeah,
some time
it's
to
hot.
because but the guys, this has been absolutely amazing. And if I've got enough, well, on Christmas, I am gonna be inviting people up. So if you guys are around on Christmas, if you're spending Christmas alone, feel free to join me. I will be here as well in the Christmas period. So, but we will have an official day Thursday. So I'll put
Yeah.
that. Yeah, we'll start next
Just
week.
have a think about it and see how you can bring it to TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. Well, thank you so much, Queens. Like, this is absolutely amazing. I'll say my final thoughts. You can stay on or come off if you want, but thank you so much, guys, for everything,
Thank you,
for all
guys.
of the knowledge and the wisdom. And PhDK, please message me. Bex, please message me as well, you guys. And tomorrow, if you can. And then we'll take it from there, because I think we should just, like, off the back of this, just, you know, just start these conversations. Survivors, I want to say thank you so much for being a part of the live, for being here, for listening. I hope that you've got a lot from it. I know I have, and I can't believe it's lost, so I'm gonna go. Love you, PhDK. Love you, Becca. Love you, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.